And, Brad, this is a very, very important ball game for Jack Pardee and the entire Bear franchise. A victory today keeps us alive in the playoff contention, and a loss today, well, it's going to be mighty hard to regroup with the Vikings and Lions coming up in the next week and a half.
Seems kind of strange, Joe. As much as we've been saying they have to have a victory to stay in contention, and they come up with a loss, and somehow they stay in contention. But that's because the Minnesota Vikings refuse to run away with it the way they did last year. The Vikings are struggling. If you go back to that Minnesota Bear game in overtime, but for one block point, extra point or field goal, take your pick, the Bears, Vikings, and Detroit would all be 4-4 coming into this game. But if Cincinnati beats Minnesota today, and it could happen, the Bears could be playing for a share of first place next week, as you say.
Our officials today, and they're grouped down with the tri-captains for each ball club for the toss of the coin. The referee is Don Wedge. The umpire is Frank Sikovitz. The head linesman, Gil Mace. The line judge, the former All-America from Michigan State, Dean Look. The back judge is Charlie Reed, and the field judge is Bill O'Brien.
Kansas City has won the toss. They have elected to receive, who will defend the goal to our left, the north goal. The Bears will defend the goal to our right, the south goal. They have a 13-mile-an-hour wind at their back. The Bears coming off their worst loss in 13 years, 47-0 in Houston. The Chiefs coming off their first victory under Tom Bettis, 20-10 over Green Bay. Green Bay, the only team with a losing record they've played so far, so their 2-6 record may be misleading. They've had the toughest schedule in the NFL to date.
And they've lost some key players. Woody Green, a young, talented running back out of Arizona State who showed a lot of promise for a year or two, had a lot of personal problems and had to be released. And MacArthur Lane, who last year led the entire National Football Conference in receptions as a running back, ruptured an elbow, I believe, a tendon in his elbow, and is sidelined. So they've had some tough breaks as well.
Sure, they're without three of their top four running backs from last year. MacArthur Lane and Woody Green. Green's career looks like it might be over. And Tommy Riemann was their fourth leading ground gainer who got cut by the Bears this year. Ed Podolak is their leading ground gainer in today's game from last year's team. In fact, he didn't play the last two games didn't start under Paul Wiggins. But Tom Bettis has gone back to his veteran.
All right, Bob Thomas has it teed up on the Bear 35-yard line. Tony Reed and Larry Brunson are waiting deep now for the opening kickoff. Brunson is a starting wide receiver, and Green is a fine young running back, a rookie, a number 2 draft choice out of Colorado, who will be backing up the old pro Eddie Podolak today.
Reed's had only one return. That was last week, 39 yards.
And Thomas hits it low and drifting to the near side, bounces at the 10, and goes out of bounds just short of the goal line. That was almost a coffin corner kick. If it had been a punt, it would have been a beauty. It would have been inside the 1-yard line, but it bounced over the pylon just about a foot short of the goal line. And so it'll be a 5-yard delay of game penalty against the Chicago Bears, and they'll kick it off from the Chicago 30-yard line.
A couple of things to keep in mind. The NFC is 1-11 against the AFC in games this year. The Bears have never beaten Kansas City. They lost to them in an exhibition game in 1967, 66-24.
I remember that one.
I remember the game at South Bend in 72. They lost that one 24-10. Abe Gibbon, the coach at that game. And the only time they've met in the regular season, 1973, a Monday night game at Arrowhead. Bears lost that one 19-7.
Podolak played a big role in that ball game with 128 yards and 23 carries. He is much like the former Viking running back Dave Osborne in personality and in ability. He got 100% out of what was there, and he came up with a big ball game last week for the Chiefs. He was a quarterback at Iowa. All right, Thomas kicks it off again. It's short, high end over end kick down the middle, and Brunson takes it at the 18. And makes that Reed. He's up to 35 to the 39-yard line. Tony Reed, a 197-pound rookie running back out of Colorado. And the tackle was made at the 39 by Lenny Walderscheid, and we'll call it the 40-yard line. He was just short of the 40, and it was Brunson instead of Reed. Larry Brunson is a wide receiver. He's caught just 5 balls this year for 60 yards. Walter White is their leading receiver. He's fourth in the AFC with 31 catches for 436 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's a man to watch. Wide to the near side now is Henry Marshall. Brunson wide to the left. High formation. Mike Livingston, the quarterback. And the give to Podolak. And he hurdles over left tackle. Fumble the ball. It's knocked out of there. And I believe it's going to be whistled dead. He got about 1.5 yards across the 40, veering off left tackle. Billy Newsom made the tackle on the play as Podolak got cartwheeled on the play. And it'll be second down and 9. A gain of 1 for Eddie Podolak as the ball was ruled dead before it was fumbled.
So the Chiefs were testing the right side of the Bear defense. That's where Gary Campbell is starting in place of Wayman Bryan at right side linebacker.
Brockington is out after the first play, and Mark Bailey, their 4th-round draft choice from Cal State at Long Beach, is in at running back. And Livingston on a draw ball. Gives to Bailey. Breaks one tackle. Gets to the outside. He's across the 50-yard line. Hit high, and he pulls two Chicago Bears with him all the way down to the Bear 45-yard line and out of bounds. Virgil Livers and Gary Campbell, both on the Smalley side, tried to hit Bailey up high, and he weighs 237 pounds. He just carried him along for an extra 5. A 14-yard pickup and a first down for Kansas City at the Bear 45. Bailey has picked up 113 yards prior to that carry, an average of 3.1. Campbell, the right side linebacker, placing in place of Wayman Bryant, who has a shoulder problem, weighs only 218 pounds. And Virgil Livers is 5'8.5", 178. Now, play action fake, back to pass, Livingston. Square out on the left side, caught for the running back. Brockington slips a tackle, still on his feet inside the 40, and goes out of bounds inside the Bear 35 at about the Chicago 34. Jim Osborne finally rolled him out of there, but a missed tackle gives Brockington an extra 6 yards on the reception.
Missed tackle by Gary Campbell. He's already made his first mistake. Boy, they booed Don Reeves pretty good when he got introduced. He introduced the Bear defense here at Soldier Field, and Reeves, as he expected, got a lot of boos, and he waved both arms into the air and got a few cheers as well, but more boos than cheers, and I suppose more people sitting on their hands than not.
Well, the Chiefs are moving it in their first possession. They're at the Bear 34. Wide to the near side is Brunson. A slot right formation. Deuce backfield behind Mike Livingston. And he gives, and it's Podolak up the middle inside the 34, slides to about the 32-yard line. Don Reeves, the middle linebacker, made the tackle on the play. And they mark it just shy of the Bear 31. It'll be second down 7 for Kansas City.
Teams have had pretty good success running up the middle on the Bears this year. And let's face it, they've had success doing a lot of things against the Bears defense. The Bears defense is nothing what it was last year. One reason is Wally Chambers isn't in there to help out the pass rush.
Brockington is back in the ball game now. He's on the left side of the deuce. First down, make it second down and 7. They give to Podolak, and Rideouts grabs him and pulls him down at the 30-yard line. Ron Rideouts, the defensive left tackle on that particular alignment, made the stop on the play, and Bailey comes in to replace Brockington. They are the messenger carriers from Tom Bettis and the Kansas City bench across the way. Brockington now in his 7th season from Ohio State. Twice named All-Pro running back up at Green Bay. Seemed to lose it almost at once a year and a half ago, and is now desperately trying to hang on in the NFL. He had only 42 yards and 18 carries coming into the ball game today. Wide to the left now, Henry Marshall, who's caught 13 for 266 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's the deep threat. Wide to the near side is Brunson on 3rd and 6. Back to pass. Livingston winds up, has time over the middle, and it's caught inside the 20 at the 18-yard line by Henry Marshall. Mike Spivey, the rookie from Colorado, the Bears' number 2 draft choice, made the tackle on the play with a 12-yard pickup and another first down for the Chiefs, who are driving now deep in Bear territory. They're going to mark it at the Chicago Bear 18.
I was isolated that time on Walter White, and he was one-on-one with the Bears' strong safety, Gary Fensick, and he just plain beat Gary Fensick on that play, one-on-one.
First down now at the 18-yard line, the Kansas City Chiefs with the ball. Wide to the left is Henry Marshall. And again, it's Brunson wide to the near side. Brockington and Podolak set in the deuce. And Livingston will throw on first down. It's a screen on the left side, caught by Brockington. Rideouts chases him. He gets a block, cuts back inside of the 15, still on his feet at the 10, and gets down to about the 7-yard line. John Brockington catching the swing pass, the screen out on the left flat. Gary Fensick finally knocked him down. Tom Condon threw a key block for him, and it's another first down for the Chiefs. First and goal at the Chicago Bears 7-yard line.
Bears without 3 regulars on defense. Of course, Doug Buffone's in the hospital still with pneumonia. Wayman Bryant out with a shoulder injury, and Chambers is gone. In fact, they're down to 3 healthy linebackers in Campbell, Reeves, and Muckenstern.
They did sign Mel Rogers, who was waived by the Rams recently, and he is dressed today. Slot right, I formation, first and goal from the Bears 7-yard line, and Livingston gives to Podolak. Tries the right guard slot and gets inside the 5 and is spilled at the 4-yard line. Doug Plank, the free safety, came up to make the tackle on the play, along with Jeff Seeley, and it's second and goal at the Bear 4-yard line. A pick up of 3 for Eddie Podolak. Podolak now has picked up 8 yards in 4 carries on this initial drive. The Chiefs started in excellent field position at the KC 40, and they've marched at 56 yards down to the Bear 4-yard line. 10:43 left to go in the first period. Now in motion, and setting to the left side is the wing. High formation, and to give to Podolak, tries the left side and gets down to about the 1-yard line, right off left guard and tackle. Don Reeves, the middle linebacker, caught him with the shoulder pads and pulled him down before he could cross the final stripe. It'll be 3rd down and goal now at the Chicago Bear 1-yard line.
One reason these Kansas City runners, not only Kansas City, but Houston, New Orleans, you name it, are carrying people because the Bears are tackling high.
Spivey hustles back in now from the Bear bench on the near sidelines, replacing Virgil Livers at cornerback. Tony Samuels, a second tight end, is in there now. They line up in a double tight end alignment. Wing to the left, deuce backfield on 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. Long count by Livingston, and he gives Podolak the call. He doesn't make it. He's stacked up right at the goal line. A big pileup with the Bears submarine in there low, and Gary Campbell got credit for part of the tackle, but there were about 3 or 4 navy blue jerseys draped all over Podolak, and it'll be 4th down and goal from the Bear 1-yard line. So they stiffened up a bit.
They stiffened up, and Podolak just ran right into a crowd. If that had been Walter Payton, I think he would have changed his direction and looped around for a touchdown, but Podolak had no chance to go anywhere. The Bears stacking up the line of scrimmage right in the middle, and that's where Podolak tried to run it.
Well, the Chiefs are going to go for it. They've got about a foot to go on 4th down and goal. Deuce backfield. Washington and Podolak. Wing to the left. And the fake bootleg, and Livingston walks into the end zone as he circles to the left side. He faked the Podolak, bootlegged it, and just kind of tiptoed into the end zone from less than a yard out. And the Kansas City Chiefs have scored on a 60-yard opening drive here and have taken a 6-0 lead.
That play would have worked on the preceding play. The Bears stacking up the line, and both wings were wide open. And that time, Livingston took advantage of it and bootlegged around the left end, and there was nobody within 10 yards of him as he walked into the end zone for the touchdown. Here comes the extra point.
9:28 to go in the first period. Jan Stenerud will attempt the extra point. Tony Adams will hold, and the kick is up, and it is through. And Kansas City has scored quickly. 60 yards in 11 plays, taking the opening kickoff. And with 9:28 to go in the first quarter here at Soldier Field, the score: Kansas City 7, the Chicago Bears nothing. Well, it's buckle up time for the Bears now, who've been stung here quick with a 60-yard, 11-play touchdown drive of the Kansas City Chiefs, 7-0 KC with 9:28 left to go in the first quarter. Walter Scheid and Baschnagel are the 2 deep men for the Bears, and Musso also up on this side. Baschnagel in the middle as Stenerud approaches the ball. And he puts it in the air. End over ender, drifting down the middle. Baschnagel in full stride at the 16, cuts back at the 25, and hurdles his way up to the 29-yard line. Brian Baschnagel tackled by Ray Burks. So the Bears will have a first down at their own 29, a 13-yard kickoff return for Brian Baschnagel, who has had one for 84 yards for a touchdown this year against the Atlanta Falcons. Well, the Bears find themselves down 7 before they can put the ball in play.
Yeah, we've been this way before, haven't we?
They'll mark the ball at the 30-yard line. Wide to the right is Scott. Slot right, deuce backfield, and we got a whistle while they line up.
Robin Earl getting his first start for the Bears at fullback in place of the injured Rowan Harper. Earl, in his debut against Green Bay 2 weeks ago, ran for 60 yards on only 70 carries. Last week against Houston, 29 yards on 10 carries. Say Pittsburgh leads Cleveland 21-3 in the second quarter of play. That would really throw that AFC Central race up for grabs if Pittsburgh wins that game, and Cleveland has never won at Three Rivers. They're 0-7 there. Baltimore leads Buffalo 24-7 after falling behind early 7-0. And at the half, Miami leads New England 7-0. Right here at 7-0 Kansas City, and this game is only 5.5 minutes old.
Well, for some reason, Kansas City called a timeout there. The defensive unit called a timeout, and so they've used one of their one of 3 first-half timeouts. And so the Bears are regrouping now. They'll have the ball at the 30-yard line, as you mentioned. Robin Earl is starting in place of Johnny Musso today, and Musso, of course, started last week in place of the injured Roland Harper, who's not suited up. Hopefully, Roland, with the hyperextended knee, will be ready to see some kind of action against the Vikings here next week. Slot right, and the give goes to Robin Earl. On a quick count, he veers off right tackle and gets up to about the 32.5, maybe the 33-yard line. 242 pounds, 6'5" rookie running back out of Washington. Howard Thomas, starting in place of Jim Lynch at linebacker, made the tackle on the play, along with make that Thomas Howard. Howard Thomas, Thomas Howard. That's one of those names you can invert all day. A 3-yard pickup for Robin Earl. It's second down 7.
Walter Payton needs only 64 yards today to become the first Bear ever to run for 1,000 yards 2 years in a row.
Slot left, deuce backfield. Avellini drops back to throw. Being rushed, he's flipped, he's bounced back at the 20-yard line. Oh, Whitney Paul came blowing in there untouched from the left side at defensive end. and buried Avellini. And they're going to mark the ball at the 23-yard line, and that's a break for the Bears because he was actually pounded down at the AstroTurf at the 20-yard line. Well, for Avellini, that's the 14th time he's been dropped behind the line, and the Bears look very, very ineffective so far, both offensively and defensively. It'll be 3rd and 17. The Bears at their own 23-yard line.
16th sack this year for Kansas City.
Slot to the near left side. Bashnigle lining up inside James Scott, and we've got all kinds of foul up there before the ball can even be snapped, and there's going to be a penalty against the Bears. 5-yard illegal procedure penalty. Someone moved, and that's the second penalty against the Bears already. And now it moves it back inside the 20 to the 18-yard line and makes it 3rd down and 23 yards to go.
Bears are getting booed pretty good here today, and I can't say I blame the people here at Soldier Field. You know, last week the Lions were booed for an entire half at Pontiac against San Diego. After a scoreless half, they came back and beat San Diego 20-0.
Trevisori was offsides on the last play. Now again a slot left, deuce backfield to give to Walter Payton on a sweep to the right side, looking for a block. He tries to get to the outside, still on his feet. Stop and go move across the 25, battles up near the 28-yard line. Walter Payton just never quits. It'll be 4th down and a long way to go for the Bears, and they'll be forced to punt, and all of a sudden the sun is poking through the haze here, and it's a bright afternoon at Soldier Field. Emmett Thomas and Ricky Davis knocked him out of bounds.
Right for who?
Yeah, so far for Kansas City. The ball at the 29, so Payton picks up 11 yards on his first carry this afternoon. It's 4th down, 11 yards to go.
The New York Jets miss Richard Todd out with an injury. They trail Seattle at the half, 10-0.
Bob Parsons, who had a great day last week at Houston, is into punt. Brunson is back in single punt safety, the first time he's ever returned punts. There's a snap. Parsons gets it away, a spiral, driving kick. Brunson coming under, takes it at the 30-yard line, stutter step move, now cuts back, reverses, breaks one tackle, and gets up to the 34-yard line. A 4-yard return for Larry Brunson, and Jerry Muckensturm down to make the tackle on the play. A 42-yard Bob Parsons punt. He came into the game averaging 39.9. Timeout with 8:06 to go in the first quarter here at Soldier Field to score. Kansas City 7, the Chicago Bears nothing. Joe McConnell along with Brad Palmer back at sunny Soldier Field, where the Kansas City Chiefs already have taken a 7-0 lead, and they'll start their second offensive drive from the Chiefs' 34-yard line. The Bears were unable to move the ball. A penalty and quarterback sack nullified a fine 11-yard effort by Walter Payton, and so now the Chiefs have a second chance to take the offense.
In Atlanta, Detroit leads the Falcons 6-0 at halftime. Detroit trying to win for the first time in 2 years outdoors.
Wide to the left now is Marshall. Wide to the near side is Brunson. Deuce backfield, and Brunson goes in motion back towards the line. And the give to Podolak is going to try to sweep the right side, looking for a block. He gets it at the 35, steps to the outside, gets across the 40, and is grabbed by the ankle and dumped at the 43-yard line. Alan Ellis made the tackle on the play. A nice sweep to the near side by Eddie Podolak. Tom Condon threw a nice block for him to spring him around the corner, and it's a 9-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd down and 1.
Podolak ran right over Ellis, but Ellis hung on to make the tackle after Fensick was taken out of the play on a nice block. In the second quarter, the Giants lead Tampa Bay 10-0, so the Buccaneers on their way to their 23rd straight loss under John McKay.
Brunson splits wide to the left, and Henry Marshall wide to the near side. Deuce backfield on 2nd down and 1. The Chiefs at their own 43-yard line. Livingston gives off to Podolak. He gets maybe enough. He is just, I think, maybe shy of the first down. Going in there was Don Reeves. Ron Rideout got him low, and Reeves hit him up high, and they marked the ball at the 44. And it's going to be very close. They're going to call for a measurement. So Podolak got most of the yard.
Reeves was in there so fast that he actually grabbed Podolak from behind and may have held him just shy of the first down. I'll put the eyeball to it.
I think he is short.
No, I think he's got it.
All right.
Oh, wait a minute. I take it back. I was looking at the wrong stick. He is short. I was watching the down marker instead of the yard marker.
Jack Rudney, an 8-year veteran from Northwestern, the offensive center, is also the captain of the offensive unit. He was watching that measurement very close. It'll be 3rd down and less than a yard. And Tony Samuels, one of 3 4th-round draft picks for the Kansas City Chiefs this year, is in now to block. 3rd down. Ed Beckman also in there. Both ends are in tight, wing to the left. Stacked backfield of Bailey and Podolak. And they give to Big Mark Bailey. Going to come to the outside. He's got the first down. Big hole across the 50-yard line and gets all the way to the Bear 45 before he's wrestled down Making the tackle was Campbell along with Doug Plank. Instead of going to the inside, they gave the ball to big Mark Bailey, and he turned the right corner and picked up about 10 yards on the play. Make it 12, and it's now first down inside the Bear 45-yard line. We'll call it the Chicago 44, although the ball is closer to the 45.
Kansas City running more to the outside and with success. And one reason, the Bears without their two regular outside linebackers.
Marshall wide to the near side. Brunson split wide to the left. Deuce backfield. First down for Kansas City. Brunson in motion back towards the line. Livingston out to pass. Looking. Going downfield. Open at the 18 is Big White. He is down inside the 10 to the 5-yard line. Big Walter White on a crossover from his tight end position. Doug Plank finally hauled him in. A 40-yard pass completion. And Kansas City is knocking on the door again, but there's a penalty flag thrown, and we'll see who it's on.
Oh, is he open? Walter White was wide open. You could see it all the way, and Livingston gave him a good pass, and Bears must have been in a zone defense in that particular play. They play more man-to-man than zone. In fact, they play more man-to-man than most teams, but here they were in a zone defense that time because that was the tight end who made the catch, and Gary Fensick, the strong safety, wasn't in the neighborhood.
Personal foul against the Bears on the point of the tackle, and they move the ball inside the 5. It's first and goal at the Chicago 4-yard line. Livingston is 4 out of 4 for 74 yards. White has caught 2 passes for 52 yards. Both ends are in tight, wing to the right. Deuce backfield of Bailey and Podolak. Livingston, play action fake, sets up, throws over the middle, tipped away, incomplete. It was intended for Tony Samuels, and Alan Ellis broke up a short touchdown. And there's the first incompleted pass of the day. They just looped the tight end from the left side right over the middle and into the end zone. The ball was there, and Ellis, with a fine recovery, tipped it away. It's second and goal at the 4.
46 instead of 48, Joe, is a Plank.
Second and goal. Now we'll call it the 3-yard line. And it's Bailey and Podolak in the deuce. Again, both ends are in tight, wing to the right. Livingston on second and goal. Gives to Bailey, and Bailey hits, spins, and turns, and gets down to the 1-yard line. A big pileup. Doug Plank again leading the Bears secondary.
Yes, sir. Plank with a good hard tackle that time. But Bears got to show more intensity on defense. They haven't had it this year. In fact, the one game that sticks out in my mind is that Ram game when Plank came back for the first time this year, and that was the night the Bears had 4 interceptions off Joe Namath. Really playing with intensity on defense, and I haven't seen that intensity this year. Now, maybe it is because they've lost some key people, but that's no excuse for not playing intense football.
It's third and goal at the Bear 1-yard line. The backs are split. Bailey on the right, Podolak on the left. Wing to the right, both ends are in sight. They give the Podolak straight ahead power play. Touchdown, he just barely got it in. And the Kansas City Chiefs have scored 2 touchdowns here in the first 9.5 minutes of play. We have 5:22 to go, and it's a 13-0 Kansas City lead. They were 66 yards in 7 plays.
Well, they've got their average already. The Chiefs are averaging only 14 points a game offensively this year, and they've got 14 points their first 2 possessions on the football.
Jan Stenerud again to try for the extra point. Stenerud and Wilson have been at Kansas City a long time and have generally been considered the best 2 kickers of any one ball club in the league. Stenerud puts it through, and we have a 14-0 Kansas City lead over the Chicago Bears with 5:22 left to go in the first period at Soldier Field. And unhappiness, obviously, is settling over the sellout crowd here. For Chicago Bears 77 after this.
Wherever you may roam, you'll find our name is known. You can trust a Delco. Thanks, Delco. Delco Freedom Battery.
Delco's Freedom Battery is loaded with sealed-in cranking power, and you never have to add water. See your nearby AC Delco dealer about Freedom and about Delco's other fine batteries. You'll be thankful you did.
In Chicago, see Consumer Tire and Supply at 1146 West Roosevelt. In Oak Lawn, visit Spitfire Carburetor and Ignition on South Cicero. And in Wheaton, see Belfast Auto on Main Street.
All across our land, people know our brand. You can trust AC. Thanks, AC. Spark plugs by AC.
If you need a tune-up, see your nearby AC Delco dealer about AC fire ring spark plugs. They can help restore your gasoline mileage and performance, and that's something to be thankful for.
In Edison, see Alpha Auto Parts on Edison Road. In Chicago, see Active Automotive Products at 5912 West Chicago Avenue. Or visit any one of 5 Grand Home and Auto Parts stores in Chicago.
Here's the defense in Chicago. Well, a 14-0 Kansas City start here. 2 drives and 2 touchdowns. And the Chiefs right now have 126 yards total offense to just 12 for the Bears. Baschnagel is deep with Musso and Walterscheid guarding the corners. And Stenerud kicks off again. Baschnagel drifts under it at the 15, behind the wedge at the 20, cuts back to the 25, the 30, penalty flag thrown, he breaks away at the 40, the 50, still on his feet at the 45, the 40, spins away again, gets down to the 30 to 28-yard line in Kansas City territory, but it's going to be brought back. Penalty flag all the way back. In fact, there are two of them in Bear territory. Jim Collier finally wrestled down the spinning and twisting Brian Baschnagel, and that's going to go for naught. 67-yard kickoff return will be brought back, and the Bears will be in a hole again. Unbelievable, Brad.
They're on the verge of sinking out the place, that's for sure. Boy, they're down 14-0 against a team that's averaging 14 points a game, and just had a big play nullified by a penalty, the third penalty of the game. You're supposed to get better as the season progresses, not worse. Jim Finks is watching very closely for progress here in the waning stages of the season. And that progress doesn't necessarily have to be reflected in the outcome of games, but just in the way the Bears play the game. They're playing very well, that's for sure. 5:07 to go in the first quarter, 14-0 Kansas City.
Slot to the right, juice backfield. Don Reeves is the man who was guilty of illegal use of hands. The Bears start this drive from the 15-yard line. They give to Walter Payton on a sweep to the right side, turns the corner at the 20, the 25, and up to about the 28-yard line as Payton picks up 13 yards on a sweep to the far right side, making 14 as they spot it at the 29. Billy Andrews, the left side linebacker, finally knocked him out of bounds, but it's first down for the Bears, and Payton has picked up 25 yards and 2 carries.
That penalty on Reeves on the kickoff cost the Bears over 50 yards in field position.
First down, the Bears at their own 29-yard line. Rather in the slot to the near side. High formation of Earl and Payton. And they give to big Robin Earl. And he tries to go up the middle and gets about 2 as he's hit at the 30 and gets another yard to the 31-yard line. A gain of 2 for Robin Earl. Thomas Howard makes the tackle on the play. With help from Willie Lanier, their all-pro linebacker in the middle. It'll be second down, and they give them almost 3 on the play, so we'll call it second down and 7. The ball just shy of the Bear 32-yard line. The Bears have been penalized 4 times already today. Slot to the right, deuce backfield, Avellini with a call. Long count by Robert. He may be audibilizing. Quick pitch now to Payton on the right side. Tries to follow Dennis Lick. Turns the corner and gets knocked down at about the 35-yard line by Whitney Paul, the left defensive end. And the ball will be spotted at the Bears 35. Makes it third down coming up and about 4 yards to go.
And keep in mind that Kansas City's no bargain on defense either. In fact, they came into this game ranked 26th in the NFL on defense. They've given up an average of 24 points a game, and they, too, are without 3 regulars on defense. The number 1 draft choice, Gary Green at a cornerback, Jim Lynch, the linebacker from Notre Dame, and also Wilbur Young, their top defensive lineman when sacked.
Third down and about 5 to go. Back to pass, Avellini has time, over the middle, high, and no good. As Walter Payton reached up with the right hand and tried to haul it in, all he did was deflect it away, and upset with himself on the play for not making the pickoff on the deflectionist Billy Andrews. It'll be fourth down and about 5 yards to go. The Bears are forced to punt, trailing 14-0 here in the first quarter with 3 minutes and 11 seconds left to play. Kansas City's had their hands on the football twice, and they've marched it into the end zone both times.
At Three Rivers, Pittsburgh leads Cleveland 28-3, second quarter.
Brunson is a deep man now, awaiting Parsons' kick. There's the snap, a bit low. No rushes on, and Parsons hits a high spiral coming to the near side. Brunson lets it bounce. It comes straight up from the 25. Now carries inside the 20 and is going to roll down inside the Kansas City 20-yard line to the 16. So Parsons gets another fine kick away. Downfield with Steve Schubert to down it. A 40-yard punt for Parsons, so he's hit it twice for an average of 41. Timeout with 2:56 to go here in the first quarter at Soldier Field. The score, Kansas City 14, the Bears nothing. Well, a correction on that punt. It was 50 yards instead of 40 for Bob Parsons, so he's having another excellent afternoon. And when you've got a kicker who is maybe outperforming the rest of the ball club, you're not getting much done. And that's what's happening here today. Kansas City leading 14-0. They'll start this offensive series from their own 16-yard line. Brunson and Marshall are split. Deuce backfield. And to give to Podolak, going to try to sweep the left side. He slips away from Rydalch, hit at the 15 and pulled out at the 15-yard line. Rydalch had him by one ankle at the 10-yard line, but Podolak couldn't, got away, and Fency came over to chop him down at the line of scrimmage along with Gary Campbell. Rydalch really slowed him down. A loss of about a half a yard on the play. We'll call it second down and a long 10. The ball now just outside the KC 15-yard line. Podolak with 21 yards and 10 carries. But Bailey has picked up 28 and 3 carries. Livingston is 4 out of 5 for 74 yards through the air. Brunson wide to the near side, working against Allen Ellis. Standing wide to the left is Marshall. He'll be going against Virgil Livers. Back to pass and rolling to the right now is Livingston. Throws it back on the left side. Caught by the running back Bailey. Slips away from one man. Spins away again across the 25 to the 27-yard line. And a penalty thrown against Doug Plank for a late hit. Druckenstern tripped him up. And Doug Plank came in to make sure. And I believe it's going to be a late hit. Personal foul against the Bears. It is another 15-yarder.
Gary Campbell missed a tackle with a waist-high tackle. I don't know. Maybe the Bears got to go back to fundamentals. They don't seem to be able to tackle anybody around the leg. Don't they do that anymore?
Well, it seems like we haven't seen a lot of it lately. The ball has moved out to the 42-yard line. Penalty against Doug Plank, who's got to be pretty frustrated in that secondary. And now Kansas City has excellent field position. The Bears have already been penalized 42 yards.
Well, Plank gets more late hits than he gets called for, I'll say that.
42-yard line. Wide to the left now is Henry Marshall in his second year out of Missouri. Wide to the near side is Brunson, deuce backfield. Now in motion coming to the near side is Brockington. Back to pass. Livingston throws it down over the middle. And it's intercepted by Allen Ellis at the Bears 35. He bounces away at the 40. Still on his feet, running to the outside. He tried to turn the corner. He's tripped up and goes out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Allen Ellis with his 4th interception of the year. That is the 9th pickoff for the Bears secondary. Bob Simmons, an offensive lineman, finally ran him out of bounds over on the far sideline. But maybe that play will turn it around. The Bears will have it at their own 45-yard line.
He must have run 50 yards with the football and gained about 3 in field. He couldn't quite turn the corner.
All right, the Bears will have it at their own 45-yard line. For Allen Ellis, his 4th interception of the year. He leads the club. Bashnagel and Scott wide to the near side. Bryan in the slot. Deuce backfield. Bob Avellini with a call. And to give to Walter Payton running to the right side. Tries to square him out of there and gets about 2 to the 47-yard line. Billy Andrews hit him around the waist and then slid down to make the tackle as Walter tried to square him to the outside. A gain of 2. It'll be second down and 8.
New Orleans Saints lead San Francisco 7-0 in the first quarter. At the half, the Giants in front of Tampa 10-0. And at the half, Philadelphia leads Washington 7-0.
29 yards and 4 carries for Walter Payton. Second down, 8 for the Bears on their own 47-yard line. Their best field possession of the afternoon. Bashnagel comes wide to the near side. Scott split wide to the right. I formation to give to the deep man. Payton, big hole up the middle to the 45 to 40, 35, 30. Still on his feet, carries a couple of deep down to the 21-yard line. Walter Payton with an explosion up the middle. And Thomas Howard finally caught up with him with help from a couple of other friends. It took him about 10 yards to bring Payton down.
They stripped Payton of the football, but the referees had blown the ball down.
A 33-yard gain for Walter Payton, and the Bears now are in business at the Kansas City Chiefs 20-yard line. 62 yards and 5 carries for Payton, and that 33-yard explosion has him right up near the 1,000-yard mark. He needs 1 more yard. High formation. Scott wide to the right, Bashnagel wide to the near side. First down for the Bears. They give to Payton. There's his 1,000 yards. He breaks off tackle and surges down to the 15, maybe the 14-yard line. Billy Andrews makes the tackle on the play for Walter Payton. He goes over the 1,000-yard mark for the 2nd consecutive season, the first time ever in Bear history that feat has been accomplished.
He is already the 3rd all-time leading ground gainer in Chicago Bear history. This, of course, is only Walter's 3rd year.
Second down and 3. The ball just inside the Kansas City 15. We'll call it the 14-yard line. Rather comes wide to the near side, and the gun sounds, ending the first quarter here at Soldier Field with a score. Kansas City 14, the Chicago Bears nothing. Well, the they just announced to the sellout crowd here at Soldier Field that Walter Payton has gone over the 1,000-yard mark, and he gets a standing ovation from the other disgruntled fans here. He's been one of the few bright lights the fans have had to cheer for here in the Windy City the last couple of weeks, and Walter Payton gets a standing ovation as we get set for the second quarter of this football game. Kansas City leading 14-0, but the Bears will be faced with a 2nd down and 3 at the Chief 14-yard line. Payton with 69 yards in the first quarter now has 1,005 on the year.
Noah Jackson starting in the applause in the Bear huddle as well. Well, at least something's going right for the Bears, and the Bears now seem to be fired up for the first time this afternoon.
Schnegel's back in place of Rather, wide to the near side. Scott wide to the left. They give to Payton. Payton spins away, cuts down the middle of the 10 to the 9-yard line for a first down. Twisting and diving, Walter Payton. First and goal for the Chicago Bears on the Kansas City 10-yard line. Payton picked up 4 right up the middle, gives him 73 yards already in this ball game. Billy Andrews, the linebacker, along with Whitney Paul, the left defensive end, finally brought him down.
Bears, the number 1 rushing team in the National Football League. Thanks to Walter Payton and that offensive line.
Yeah, they're averaging 195.5 yards a game on the ground. Schnegle wide to the near side. Scott wide to the left. Back to pass. Avellini hit as he throws. It's incomplete. Just as his right arm started forward with the ball, he was smacked good by Cliff Frazier, the right defensive tackle out of UCLA, a 265-pounder. The ball just squibbed harmlessly away. It's 2nd and goal. The Bears at the Chief 10-yard line. For Avellini, he is 0 for 2 now in the passing department. Rather is in. Schnegle is out.
Frazier steamrolled Dan Piper that time. A lot of people don't realize the quarterback takes a lot of punishment after the ball's been thrown.
High formation, slot to the near side. Bull Rather in the slot. 2nd and goal from Kansas City 10-yard line. Quick pitch to Payton. Following the blocker. Turns the corner. Inside the 5. Out of bounds to the 3-yard line. The quick pitch to the near right side, to the slot side, and Payton gets down inside the 5 to the 3. It'll be 3rd and goal. Revisori threw a fine lead block for him. He was finally chased out of bounds over there by the Kansas City secondary. It'll be 3rd down and goal now from the KC 3.
While Payton had 13 touchdowns last year, he has only 6 this year, and they've come in pairs. 2 against Detroit, 2 against New Orleans, and 2 against Green Bay.
+1 on the reception. All right, way wide to the left is Schnegle. Both ends are in tight. Deuce backfield. The Chiefs now are stunning and shifting on the defensive line. Long count for Avellini. He rolls to the right. Fakes it, cuts back in, and he gets down near the goal line. He's chopped down just shy. Cliff Frazier came over laterally and made the tackle with help from Thomas Howard and Billy Andrews. It's going to be 4th down and goal inside the 1-yard line. Avellini rolling to the right, tried to cut that one back up, and I thought he was going to make it.
I did too. They cut him off right at the goal line, and they are going to go for it. They've got to, trailing 14-0.
They are about a foot away from the final stripe. It's 4th down and goal, and this is a big, big play for the Bears, who already trail at 14-0.
You going to let Walter Payton hurdle with it?
I don't know. When Kansas City had this call earlier in the ball game, Livingston bootlegged it in. Rather now the wing, wide to the near side. Both ends are in tight. They give to Payton. He slashes up the middle, and there's no call. I don't think he made it.
He didn't.
Walter Payton was chopped down short of the goal line, and Kansas City takes over.
That's not going to happen very often. It took the steam out of a Bear drive. The Bears were up in this football game for the first time of the day. Of course, it's a young football game, but they're trailing 14-0, and they came out flat.
Timeout with 13:37 to go in the half. We'll return in a moment. Joe McConnell along with Brad Palmer back at Soldier Field. The score, sadly enough, still 14-0. But now the Bear defensive unit has a chance to keep Kansas City bottled up. The Chiefs will have the ball just outside their own goal line. Tough break for Walter Payton in the offensive unit. Avellini appeared to be headed across the goal line on 3rd down, and then they stacked Payton up on 4th down just short of the final strike.
And the Bears have put Wayman Bryant in there. He's playing with a shoulder injury, and he is back into the game now for the first time. Plays to Gary Campbell.
Slot to the near side, Deuce backfield. We'll see if Livingston tries to get a little working room. They give now to Brockinger. Going to try the right side. Touch back upfield across the 5 out near the 9-yard line. John Brockington on a sweep to the right side, cut back in sharply off the tackle position. Doug Plank made the tackle along with Wayman Bryant, who just came in. Sore shoulder and all. To make the tackle on the play, they mark it at the 9. It'll be 2nd down and 2.
Wayman Bryant has not had a good year. True, he does have a shoulder injury, but he just has not had a good year.
Brunson wide to the near side. Marshall split wide to the right. I formation. Now the Chiefs set, and the give, and it's Podolak ripping off through a big hole out over the 10 to the 15-yard line. Eddie Podolak on a drop-off right guard had a big hole to run through the line. Gary Fensick made the tackle, and Kansas City seems to be able to move it at will.
They've gained 143 yards so far to 88 yards for the Bears. Peyton has 80 of the Bears, 88 yards.
Yep.
Up at Milwaukee, the Rams lead Green Bay 7-0 in the second quarter.
Bailey and Podolak in the eye. Podolak the deep man, and back to pass is Livingston being rushed. He gets away, lobs it out on the right flat, complete at the 10-yard line, and getting upfield is Podolak across the 15 to the 17-yard line, and there was a case where the Bears just missed sacking Livingston inside the 5. Reeves and Muckenstern made the tackle on the play, and Jimmy Osborne was very upset. He came very close to getting Livingston just before he dumped that ball off.
I didn't think there was any way Osborne was going to miss that sack. Actually, he missed him, I think, before he threw it, Joe.
There was a penalty flag thrown on the play, and it appears to be against the Chiefs. They're dropping back, and if so, it would be their first infraction of the ball game. And it's moved back inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. And an ineligible receiver downfield. A 7-yard penalty. An illegal receiver downfield, and it was Tom Condon. The offensive guard has thrown a couple of key blocks already for Kansas City. Now it's first down and 17 yards to go. High formation. Ends are split on either side. Livingston gives to the deep man. Podolak cuts back upfield, gets across the 10 to the 15 off the left, the 11-yard line off left guard, and Wayman Bryant, the right side linebacker, made the tackle on the play along with Gary Fensick.
Again, getting him above the waist. Kansas City, like the Bears, has been a mistake-prone team this year. In fact, when things were really going bad, Paul Wiggins started going to the youngsters. Tony Adams at quarterback, Tony Reed, the number 2 draft choice at a running back, along with another rookie, Mark Bailey. When Tom Bettis took over, he went back to the old-timers, the veterans, Livingston, Podolak, and Brockington, to cut down on those mistakes.
A gain of 3 for Podolak. It's second down, 11. Now in motion goes Podolak to the right side. The give is to Bailey, I believe. He gets out over the 15 to about the 16-yard line. Make that Brockington. Brockington and Bailey have been alternating on plays. Rideouts made the tackle on the play, along with Wayman Bryant, and they'll mark the ball at the 17-yard line. A pickup of about, 3 more. Make it 4. And now it'll be third down coming up. 8 yards to go.
Good hard tackle by Rideouts right around the legs. He's been their most consistent defensive lineman this year.
The fans here are heaping a little verbal abuse on Don Reeves, who sounded off a couple of weeks ago. And Reeves comes out as the Bears go with 5 defensive backs. It'll be third down and 8. Kansas City at their own 17-yard line. Back to pass is Livingston. Throws a long pass down the right side, a lob, and it's incomplete. Fensick was covering on the play. It was intended for Big Walter White. The ball was overthrown a bit at the Bear 45-yard line. And it'll be fourth down coming up, and the Bears have forced a punt.
Credit the Bear defensive line. There was no blitz, but you would have thought it the way the Bear defensive line came pouring in there. Mike Hartenstein leading the rush, and the Bears really put the pressure that time on Mike Livingston, and that's what they haven't been doing enough of.
Fourth down, 8 yards to go, and Gerald Wilson. Many times at All-Star at the punting position is in to kick it away for Kansas City. Schubert is back in solitary safety. Wilson averaging 40.5 yards a kick this year. There's the snap. And he just barely got it away as Rather came in. And Schubert catches the line driver at the 40, the 45, the 50, cuts through a hole at the 45, still on his feet. He gets pounded down at the KC 41-yard line by Ricky Davis. Nice return of that line drive Gerald Wilson punt by Steve Schubert, a 43-yard punt. And he took it at his own 40-yard line and returned it 19 down to the Kansas City 41-yard line. And with 10:44 to go in the halftime, on his call to score. Kansas City 14, the Chicago Bears nothing. Tom Bettis and his staff across the way have to be mighty happy about the way this game is turning out so far. The Chiefs scored touchdowns in their first 2 possessions and held the Bears on a great goal line stand inside their own 1-yard line a moment ago. And now the Bears have it first down at the KC 41. Slot to the left, Scott outside of Bashtangle, high formation, Earl the short man, Peyton the deep man. Cavallini with the call and on a draw. Gives to Walter Payton. Cuts back. Comes to the outside of the 35. Cuts back. Gets by one man and gets down to the 30 to 29-yard line. He couldn't elude Gary Barbero. The strong side safety tried to cut back inside Barbero, but he hung on and brought Walter Payton down at the 29. A 12-yard pickup, and Payton continues to chew up yardage. That gives him 92 in the first half.
He's put a good straight arm on Whitney Paul, the left end of the Kansas City Chiefs, to make that big game possible. Peyton and Allen Ellis have changed the complexion a little bit in this football game. The Bears dominating since Kansas City went ahead 14-0.
High formation, slot left. They give to Peyton right up the middle, inside the 25, and he hurdles down to about the 24-yard line. Again, it's Thomas Howard in on the stop. He's playing in place of Jim Lynch at right side linebacker today for the Chiefs. They mark it at the 23. It's second down and 4. Again, it's 6 for Peyton, and he has 98 yards, 2 away from the century mark. And we still got 9:54 left to go in the second quarter.
This is the kind of start he got out to against Green Bay, and they took him out in the fourth quarter because they had that game put away. They aren't going to put this game away very early. They're going to be lucky to get back into it.
Wide left is James Scott. In the slot to the left is Bashnagel. The Bears have yet to complete a pass. Avellini with a long count. And to give to Peyton, running to the left side. Inside the 20, down to about the 16-yard line as Peyton just runs right by Kansas City Chief tackler. Flag is thrown on the play, and that may cancel that one out. Gary Barbero made the tackle on the secondary for the Chiefs. And the ball was at the 16. They're going to bring it back. Another penalty on the Bears. And this one is a 10-yarder. Offensive holding back out to the KC 33.5-yard line.
Holding, offense, number 53.
Danny Piper.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Jack Pardee got to wonder, when's it going to end?
52 yards in penalties now for the Bears, Brad.
52 already, huh? In the third quarter at Three Rivers, the Steelers lead Cleveland 28-10. Halftime, Baltimore leads Buffalo 24-10.
Bashnagel wide to the near side. Scott split wide to the left, and on a draw to Peyton, the ball is lost in a bad handoff, but the Bears get it back at the 36-yard line. Peyton had overran the play. Robert Earl and Peyton both went after the ball. Willie Lanier was also there, putting pressure on for the Chiefs. A loss of a couple on the Mets handoff, and now it's going to be third down and 17. And what looked like a promising Bear drive a few instances ago is now bogged down at the 36-yard line. It'll be third and 17.
Bears going to have to pass unless they try a draw, and they've only hit their wide receivers twice in the last 2 games.
Slot to the near right side. Split backfield in the deuce. Earl on the left, Peyton on the right. On third and 17, Avellini will throw. Has time. Steps up. Now throws. And a diving catch at the 21-yard line is made by Brian Bashnagel. That's his second catch of the year. He had a 2-yard reception against Houston last week. He made a great diving catch on the AstroTurf at the 21. It's going to be shy of the first down. But the Bears are going to go for the field goal, I believe, on fourth down and 2. Bobby Thomas comes in. He is 9 of 13 in the field goal department. He has a long one of 47 this year. He missed a 44-yard attempt early in the ball game last week at Houston, and it turned out to be the Bears' only real scoring chance all day.
Only 7 for 8 from inside the 40-yard line.
Dan Neal replaces Piper at center. He's the man who snaps the ball in the kicking situations. Bashnagel will hold at the 29. It'll be a 39-yard kick. There's a snap. The kick is up. It is no good. It hit the upright, would you believe?
I believe it hit the crossbar.
It looked like he kind of chipped it. He didn't really get the full foot into it, and it came down and it hit the crossbar and bounced away, and the Bears are still scoreless. With 8:10 left to go in the first half, it remains the Kansas City Chiefs 14, the Chicago Bears nothing. Well, Thomas's try for a 39-yard three-pointer hit the crossbar and came up short, and so the Chiefs will have it now at their own 21-yard line, leading 14-0.
Unbelievable. The Bears were stopped at the 1-foot line and then hit the crossbar the next possession.
Marshall wide to the near side. Brunson split wide to the right, and now in motion to the right goes Podolak, and the give to Brockington. He gives ground, now turns the corner at the 20, bangs over one Bear tackler out over the 25 to the 27-yard line. It was Gary Fensick who hit him, but Brockington, who was a lot bigger than Fensick, just kind of bounced off and over him and picked up an additional yard or 2, and they spotted at the 26, a gain of 5. It'll be second down and 5. And this is Brockington's could well be his most productive afternoon in a couple of years before this afternoon is over. He's picked up 19 yards and 3 carries. He's out. Bailey is in.
Brockington only averaging 2.3 yards a carry this year. Last year, 3.5 with Green Bay.
Brunson wide to the near side. Wide to the far right is Marshall, and the give to Bailey, and Bailey tries it right up the middle off the guard position to the right side and gets up to the 30-yard line. A pickup of 4. Jerry Muckensturm makes the tackle on the play. It'll be third down and about a yard for the Chiefs on their own 30-yard line. And Brockington again exchanges with Bailey. They have been the messenger so far most of the afternoon for Tom Bennett and his staff.
What do you want to bet they go wide again?
Third down and a yard to go at the 30. Brunson wide to the near side. Marshall split about 5 yards wide to the right. High formation. And Reeves wanted to blitz, and the give is to Podolak. He breaks one tackle and gets out over the 40 to the 42-yard line. Wayman Bryant finally pulled him down. Eddie Podolak ran right by a Bear tackler at the line of scrimmage and exploded through a hole that was left by the vacating Bears, and he picked up 12 yards out to the 42 for the first down.
Big hole there over the left side of the Bear defensive line, and I think you or I could have run through that hole, Joe.
42 yards in 13 carries for Podolak. Wide to the near side now is Marshall. Brunson split wide to the far side of the field. It's a double wing left. Back to pass. Livingston, quick square out on the right side. Caught at the 48-yard line by White. And he is wrestled to a standstill. They never did get him down. Gary Fensick made the tackle on the play, and they'll spot the ball at the Kansas City Chiefs 47-yard line. A pickup of 5. It'll be second down and 5. Livingston now 6 of 9 for 90 yards.
Wayman Bryant has been in this game since Kansas City took that 14-0 lead. We've got 5:45 to go in the first half. 14-0 Chiefs.
Second down and 5. KC marching near the midfield stripe now at their own 47. Brunson wide to the near side. Standing wide to the right is Henry Marshall. And they give to the deep man. Podolak wants to turn the corner on the left side. Gets tripped up and spilled at the 46-yard line by Gary Fensick, who reached through a blocker, John Brockington, and tripped up Podolak as he tried to cut off a Brockington and get to the outside.
Good call, Joe. That's what he did. He fought off a block by Brockington, which is not easy, and made a good tackle right at the ankle.
Third down coming up now, and about, we'll call it 6 yards. He lost almost a yard on the play. And here comes Jerry Myers back into the Bear defensive lineup, replacing Ron Rideout. Maybe a little bit more mobility there.
Myers will be backing up the left side of that Bear defensive line, and the backup on the right side will be that newcomer.
Double wing to the right now. The tight end is split. Back to pass. It's Livingston on third down and 6 over the middle. Caught by Podolak, who is really hit and bounced by Alan Ellis at the 50-yard line. Ellis hit him with a tremendous shoulder tackle, but Podolak had reached and tucked in the ball at the 49-yard line in Bear territory, but I believe they're going to be a bit shy. Here comes the punting unit led by Gerald Wilson. Wilson has been around a long time, and he is a great kicker.
15th year. He's out of southern Mississippi.
He almost retired because his parents are in failing health, and he wanted to be near them down in Texas, and then decided to come back for at least one more year. 3 men are deep for the Bears with Schubert in the middle. Fourth down and about a yard to go. There's the snap, and Wilson takes his time and hits it high into the air, not too deep. The Bears will make a fair catch at the 17-yard line. Brian Bashnagel with a fair catch at the Chicago Bears 17. A 32-yard punt by Gerald Wilson. It was very high. There was no chance for the run back. Now, we appear to have a penalty flag thrown way over on the far side of the field at about the Bear 18-yard line. I'm not sure whether that's marking the spot or whether there has been a penalty call, and now the officials themselves are conferring.
Holding against the Bears. That's going to put them in the hole. They've really dug another hole. They're good at digging holes for themselves, I'll say that. How many times have they been behind like 13-0, 14-0 early in a football game? Dug themselves out against the Rams, dug themselves out against Minnesota, only losing overtime. I'm not going to write them off here today, but...
Let's pause for station identification. Well, it's a tough day for middle linebacker Don Reeves. That's the second time he has drawn a flag today. And that puts the ball all the way back at the Bear 9-yard line. First down for Chicago. Bashnagel and Scott will line up in a slot to the left. Deuce backfield of Payton and Robin Earl. Back to pass is Avellini. Tries to throw it on the outside and almost batted right back in his arms. Oh, my goodness.
Whitney Paul, the left end for Kansas City, batted the ball into the air and almost caught it.
Well, not only that, he almost batted it right back. Avellini almost caught it. And he was 6 yards deep in his own end zone. And that has happened before where a man has actually caught his own thrown pass. But that would have been a safety. As it is, it's still second down and 10 at the 9-yard line.
Avellini reached up for it, and I think he thought at the last second, hey, I can't.
Hey, what am I doing?
Would have helped his passing stats.
Not really. Completion percentage, maybe. Slot left, I formation. On a draw to Walter Payton. Looking for running room. Hesitates the line, then shoots upfield to the 14-yard line. Willie Lanier brought him down. A gain of 5. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for the Bears on their own 14-yard line. Payton just goes over the century mark with that 5-yard haul. He has picked up 101 yards in 13 carries here in the first half. And yet the Bears trail it 14-0, having been stopped on the KC 1-foot line, and Bobby Thomas just short on a 39-yard effort to hit the crossbar.
6th time in 9 games, Payton has gained 100 yards this season.
Bashnagel split wide to the left and wide to the near side of Scott on 3rd and 5 from the Bear 14. Avellini will throw. Looking, throws it, incomplete. Overshoots his intended receiver, Walter Payton, at the 18-yard line, and the man closest to the ball was Kansas City's Billy Andrews, and he would have had a touchdown had he been able to hang on to that. It's 4th down and 5, and the Bear passing attack for the second straight week going absolutely nowhere.
Sadly, as it seems, the Bears had their 2 best days passing against the Los Angeles Rams and the Minnesota Vikings, completing over 64% of their passes in both those games. Of course, at Houston, they had to pass and were minus 16 net passing, and against Green Bay, they didn't have to pass.
Dan Neal in the snap. Parsons set to kick it away. Brunson is a deep man at the 50-yard line for Kansas City. The snap is a good one, not much of a rush. And a spiral drifting to the right side, bouncing at the 45, and gets a Chicago Bear bounce across the 50-yard line. There'll be no return, and it's down at the Kansas City 46-yard line. Bob Parsons kicking against the wind, got a bounce there, and Steve Schubert got upfield to down the ball, a 39-yard punt. So Kansas City will have it at the 46-yard line. After the game, I'll run down all the highlights. Brad will be down in the Bears locker room, and then Virgil Carter and Ray Geraci will answer all your questions about the game back at the studio. Don Reeves rejoins his teammates on the field, getting a chorus of boos from some of the Chicago Bear backers here. Brunson comes wide to the near side, and again it's Henry Marshall split wide to the right. Deuce backfield of Podolak and Brockington. Mike Livingston out of Southern Methodist. Fakes to Brockington, swings it out the right flat, caught by Podolak at the 50, down the 45, the 40, and out of bounds at the 35-yard line of Bear territory. Alan Ellis knocked him out. First down for Kansas City, hitting that little running back out of the right flat. And Podolak streaking down the far sideline, picking up 19 yards on the play before he was knocked out of bounds at the Bears 35.
Kansas City mixing up their plays well. The Bears thought they could hold the Chiefs on the ground and force them to the air. They could tee off and have a good game against the Chiefs, but they haven't been able to stop them on the ground, and now the Chiefs are mixing up their passing attack, and the Chiefs are just running a well-balanced offense.
Bailey in, Brockington out as a setback. Slot to the near left side. And play action fake to Podolak, back to pass. Livingston sidesteps the rush, now runs to the right side, gets away from another man, and runs out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Mike Hartenstein had a shot at him.
Yep, it's not going to look good in the films next week.
Jimmy Osborne also, but Osborne finally chased him out as Livingston just stepped to the sidelines to avoid being hit. He lost a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 11.
Kansas City marched 60 and 66 yards the first 2 times they had the football to take a 14-0 lead. Alan Ellis then made an interception. The Bears got down to the 1-yard line. Walter Payton was stopped on 4th and 1. Bears got good field position back as Kansas City punted. They tried a 39-yard field goal into the wind. It hit the crossbar. That's where we stand right now with 2:48 to go in the first half.
Marshall wide to the near side. Brunson split far to the right side. They give the Podolak up the middle, inside the 30, to the 25-yard line. He stood at his feet and carried a couple of Bears down for an additional yard or 2. Wayman Bryant finally brought him down, and it's another first down, a 12-yard pickup for Podolak on a counter play right up the middle.
Mike Livingston is picking this Bear defense apart. He opened the game going wide. Everybody's been going up the middle on the Bears with their 2 outside linebackers both sidelined. Kansas City came out running wide, and now with a 14-0 lead, they're running it right up the middle, and with as much success as they did earlier going around the outside.
2:21 left to go in the first half, and Kansas City threatening again at the Bear 24-yard line.
7 penalties against the Bears already for 62 yards in this football game.
Ed Beckman is in there now at tight end.
Bears have gained 105 yards and been penalized 62.
He splits wide to the right. Brunson wide to the near side. High formation. First down from the Bear 24. Livingston gives to Brockington, and Brockington gets about 3 off right guard to the 22-yard line. Ron Rideout made the stop on the play. With help from Jimmy Osborne, and the 2-minute warning now is being given to both coaches and their teams here at Soldier Field with a score 14-0, Kansas City leading Chicago. Connell and Brad Palmer back at Soldier Field. It's a rather subdued crowd right now, and rightfully so. Kansas City scored the first 2 times they had possession of the football, and they still lead at 14-0, now looking for more at the Bear 22-yard line with 2 minutes left to go in the first half.
Elsewhere in the Central Division, Detroit is nursing a 6-3 lead against Atlanta in the final quarter. In the second quarter at Milwaukee, the Rams lead the Packers 14-0. And down in Miami, the Dolphins lead the Patriots 7-3 fourth quarter.
All right, slot left, deuce backfield, back to throw. Livingston swings it out in the flats on the left side to Bailey behind the line, makes a cut, gets by one man and gets to the 21-yard line. Nice tackle by Mike Hartenstein on the play. After Reeves got faked off his feet in the backfield, they picked up about 1.5 yards on the play. We'll call it 2. It's down to the 20-yard line. Third down coming up and 5 yards to go. Jim Osborne put a rush on. Osborne a moment ago actually got credit for a quarterback sack when Livingston was chased out of the pocket and stepped out of bounds 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage. So that would give the Bears 16 on the year, and that would be Ozzy's second sack of the season, although not a big one, obviously.
Nothing to write home about.
No, Marshall wide to the near side, wide to the right now is Brunson. And Livingston back to pass, quick square out, and Brunson can't hang on at the 11-yard line. It was thrown low and behind him, and there was a break because he was open, turning to the sideline. Ellis was covering on the play. It'll be 4th down and 5, and Stenerud in the field goal kicking unit comes in now for Kansas City. Charles Getty in there along with a couple of other big offensive linemen to block for Stenerud, and Tony Adams will hold.
Stenerud hasn't had many kicking opportunities in the field goal department. He tried only 6 field goals, has made only 3, and his longest is from 23 yards. He has missed every opportunity longer than that, from 41 yards, which is blocked, 43 yards, and 44 yards. So an off year for Jan Stenerud in his 11th year out of Montana State.
Well, this ball will be spotted at the 27-yard line, a kick of 37 yards. There's a snap. The ball is down. The kick is up. It's got a lot of distance. It is good. It's 17-0 Kansas City as Stenerud hammers through the field goal with 1 minute and 12 seconds left to go in the first half. They go 34 yards in 6 plays.
17-0. The Bears down, and they've got 1:12 to go to try to do something here before the first half ends. I don't know what to tell you at this point about the Chicago Bears. The whole season could go down the drain right here today if it hasn't already. But I'll tell you, if they lose this game today, they've got nothing to look forward to over the last 5 games. Minnesota comes in here next Sunday, and then it's over to Detroit on Thanksgiving Day. Detroit is winning today, and we don't have anything on Minnesota-Cincinnati. It must be a 3 o'clock game. It is a 3 o'clock game. So if Cincinnati wins today and Detroit hangs on against Atlanta, those 2 teams will be tied for first place. But the Bears lose today. Those games against Minnesota and Detroit don't mean a thing.
17-0 the score. A 37-yard field goal by Stenerud, capping a short Kansas City drive. And the Bears now will try to advance this kickoff back out in a decent field position and hope to get on the boards in the final 1 minute and 12 seconds of play in the first half. Peyton has picked up 101 yards on the ground and 13 carries. Avellini has completed only 1 of 5 attempts for 15 yards, and that was to Brian Baschnagel on a 3rd down and long situation.
I didn't know what to expect today. I was really wary of this whole game. After that Houston game, I'm wary of the whole situation.
There's the boomer by Stenerud, and it's taken at the 8-yard line by Baschnagel, right up the middle behind the wedge to the 25. Cartwheel high in the air and down to the 30-yard line. Big hit by Ted McKnight. Well, Baschnagel gets 22 yards on the run back, and the Bears will have it at their own 30-yard line with 1:08 left to go in the second quarter.
You don't think this is going to be another Houston game, do you?
Oh, come on.
At 9:06 tonight, Ray Geraci will have a recap of all the action in this game, plus a look at all the games in the NFL today on the Game Day Recap Special tonight at 9:06 on WBBM. 1:08 to go in the half. Bears down 17-zip.
This one started out worse than the Houston game, but it hasn't gotten to that proportion yet. Scott wide to the near side. Baschnagel split wide to the far left side. Deuce backfield of Earl and Peyton. Avellini will throw on 1st down. Has time. Throws it downfield. And coming back for the ball and making the catch is James Scott at the 44-yard line. There's the second completion of the afternoon. Scott came back beautifully on that to make his first reception in 3 ball games. That gives him 22 catches on the year. Ladera with a stop. And the Bears have a 1st down at their own 44-yard line, and they stop the clock with their first time out. 1:01 remaining. So Avellini now is 2 out of 6 in the passing department.
Well, I got a Seattle score that says 14-0, Seattle over the Jets, but they would have had to get 2 safeties to do that. Unless we had the halftime score wrong, we had 10-0 at the half. Anyway, Seattle is beating the Jets, and Baltimore leads Buffalo 31-13. That game in the third quarter.
Buffalo, of course, needs a win to stay in undisputed first place in the AFC Eastern Division over the Miami Dolphins. And the Miami and New England are playing for playoff survival down in the Orange Bowl this afternoon. The loser will be just about out of any kind of playoff consideration when you look at the 2 clubs in the Western Division, Oakland and Denver, both at 7-1. First down for the Bears at their own 44-yard line. A 14-yard pass play from Avellini to James Scott. Scott wide to the left. In the slot is Baschnagel. And Musso's into the lineup, not running back. There's a pass by Avellini. Overshoots the defender, receiver. No, it's caught by Baschnagel. And he gets inside the 35 to the 31-yard line. It looked like he was going to the running back. And are they going to bring it back? Let's see. I don't see a flag. Barbero made the tackle on the play. The official was signaling like they were going to bring it back, but apparently not. And it's a first down for the Bears at the 31-yard line, a 24-yard catch for Brian Baschnagel.
Those 2 receivers were in parallel, as you say, and I wasn't sure which one was the intended receiver, but it sure looked good from here.
Well, the receivers, it looked like it was intended and thrown high for Musso, but it was right on target to Baschnagel, and the Chiefs were hollering about a double touch on the play.
Yes, they were, and they may be right.
Well, I don't think Musso reached it.
Well, somebody did. Looked to me like it got deflected. Now, that would have been the Kansas City defender on Musso.
Well, the Bears certainly aren't about to take it back, and thank goodness the officials say no, and if someone did indeed tip it, it was a defensive back, and so the Bears now have a first down on the Kansas City Chief 31-yard line. Baschnagel with 2 catches today, 39 yards. That triples his season output.
Well, I hope Kansas City stays in this prevent. I'm sure they will. Probably willing to give up 3 points anyway with a 17-0 lead. Not only a prevent, but that prevent defense is a touchdown.
Not much, and sometimes you don't even do that.
That's right.
The Bears now have 6 first downs, Brad. Kansas City 11 in the first half. That's where we stand in that category.
Is that a moral victory?
Not so at all. Wide to the left is Scott. Wide to the near side is Baschnagel. Deuce backfield, and Avellini will throw again. He sets up, he throws. High lob down the left side, intended for Scott. He can't reach it in the end zone. He was covered. He was covered by Tim Collier, who's playing in place of Kansas City's #1 draft choice from Baylor, Gary Green, who has 3 interceptions this year. And the ball was thrown incomplete. Avellini 3 out of 8 for 53 yards. And on the other side of the ledger, Livingston is 9 of 13 for 116 yards through the air in the first half.
Avellini throwing into a 13-mile-an-hour wind, and that wind may have played tricks on that football as Scott turned left, then right, then left again. If he'd made the catch, it would have been a super catch. Avellini put it in a good spot, though. It couldn't have been intercepted.
All right, again, Scott standing wide to the left, Baschnagel in the slot. On 2nd down and 10 from the Kansas City 31-yard line. We have 46 seconds to play. Avellini sets up deep the pass, rolls to the right, dumps it out of there, and incomplete. Intending it for Musso, who was running along with Thomas Howard, the linebacker, who was covering on the play. And Willie Lanier put a tremendous rush on Avellini and forced Avellini to throw it a little quickly and may have actually messed up his throw as he threw the ball.
Willie Lanier is 11th year at Morgan State. He tried to retire a couple of years ago and didn't agree with him. He came back, didn't even miss any games.
A tremendous man off the field as well as on the field of play. He was named the NFL Man of the Year several seasons ago for his work away from the game of football. Bo Ratherhead wide to the left. Scott standing wide to the near side. Musso and Payton are the running backs. Avellini back to pass. Quick pop over the middle. One-handed catch. As he brought it down is Greg Latta inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. He reached back. The ball was high. He tipped it up in the air and then hauled it in on the deflection. Gary Barbero made the tackle on the play. That is Latta's first reception of the game. His 19th of the season, and he did a great juggling job there.
Boy, I guess.
Timeout call for the Bears to freeze the clock with 34 seconds to go. And they have the ball now inside the KC 19. We'll call it the 18-yard line. Great juggling job by Greg Latta, who tipped up the ball with a right hand. It was a little bit behind him and high. It came down and he hauled it in and got the first down.
Bears very fortunate on that play. Anything could have happened after he deflected the ball into the air. I'm kind of surprised he was able to get it back. Hey, Atlanta's gone out in front of Detroit 10-6 in the final quarter. And Miami leads New England 10-3 in the final quarter. I should have made my pick last Monday because I had Miami and I had Atlanta, and then I got to thinking and I went the other way on both those games.
Well, the Bears are trying to break a 7-quarter TD drought. They have not scored a touchdown in 7 quarters of play, and they are now on the Kansas City 18-yard line with a first down with only 34 seconds left to play in the half. Bashnagel back in and Bo Rather out at wide receiver. Oh, a touchdown would be nice here.
You're telling me.
Well, Willie Lanier now rejoins his teammates, and we're set to go here momentarily.
17-7's going to look a lot better at the half than 17-0. Bears have already been stopped on the 1-yard line in this game, and have had a field goal hit the crossbar.
All right, slot to the left, deuce backfield. First down from the Kansas City 18-yard line. Avellini sets up the pass. Now throws the left corner of the end zone. It's going to be intercepted. He threw it right to a defensive back who was standing all by himself, Gary Barbero. And that's Barbero's 6th interception of the year. He was tied for second place in the AFC, and that one was thrown right to him. Apparently somebody was supposed to be there. And the Bear drive dies on the 18, and again they come up empty-handed.
Well, that was just a bad throw. I was watching for an open receiver. I didn't see one. He should have thrown the ball away, but he pulled the ripcord the way he did early in that Houston game, 2 weeks ago against Green Bay. It was the same kind of an interception as the Bears' first drive in Green Bay when he threw it into a crowd at the 1-yard line, and there was no Bear receiver near that ball.
Bashnagel was the closest man to the play, and he was a good 5 yards away. Now Kansas City has it with 27 seconds left to go in the first half. They give to Podolak, and he cuts back and gets a couple of yards off right tackle. Hartenstein there on the stop. It'll be second down and 8. Well, for Avellini, that's his 10th pass intercepted this year. Livingston, with that Allen Ellis pickoff in the first half, has had 9 intercepted.
Really a downer. There the Bears were showing signs of getting back into this football game, and they just haven't been able to do it.
Well, the gun sounds ending the first half, an unhappy one here at Soldier Field, to say the least, and you can hear the frustration of the home folks as the Bears head to the locker room, trailing the Kansas City Chiefs 17-0.
Now the half.
Second half underway here as Centerud hammers it down near the goal line, and it's Bashnagel at the 9. To the 15, to the 20, up the middle, still on his feet, big run, getting to the 40, he's to the 50, the 45, the 40, and it's finally hauled in from behind by Dick Collier at the Kansas City Chiefs 36-yard line, and maybe that's the play to get the Bears off and running.
So we thought Allen Ellis' interception in the first half was the play, but it turned out not to be the play. And
well, that's a 55-yard kickoff return, and the Bears will put it in play at the Kansas City Chiefs 36-yard line. That's Bashnagel's 3rd long kickoff return in 2 ball games.
Had one nullified earlier today on a penalty.
Slot to the right, high formation. Avellini with the first play of the second half. Quick pitch now to Walter Payton. He is collared behind the line and slung down at the 40-yard line.
Whitney Paul.
Yes, he came up there and grabbed Walter around the shoulder pads, wouldn't let him go, and also coming up was Billy Andrews, the left side linebacker, and they put Payton down at the 40-yard line, a loss of 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 14. Well, an auspicious beginning, and then all of a sudden a 4-yard loss from Walter Payton, who has been really the only bright spot the Bears have had to cheer about today. Now Bashnagel wide to the right, Scott wide to the near side on 2nd down and 14. Avellini on a draw to Payton, bumps into his own man, reverses, still on his feet, and gets back to the 40 to 39-yard line, a gain of a yard. He ran into one of his own blockers, Willie Lee, and the entire defensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs had Payton surrounded that time. So he got a yard back. It'll be 3rd and 13.
13 yards to go for the Bears.
The ball at the KC 39. Bashnagel out, Rather in at wide receiver.
Well, if the Bears do pull this game out, they'll be tied for 2nd place with Detroit.
Slot to the near left side now. Rather lining up inside James Scott. Deuce backfield. 3rd down, 13. And a give to Payton, or rather Big Robin Earl. And Earl up the middle, across the 35, down to the 31-yard line. They chose to run instead of pass on a passing situation. Billy Andrews, the linebacker, made the tackle on the play. Earl did indeed get 8 yards, but it's going to be far short of the first down. It's 4th down and 5 yards to go.
It's going to be a 48-yard field goal with a 13-mile-an-hour wind at Bob Thomas's back.
Well, he hit the crossbar from 39 yards going the other way against the wind in the first half. He is now 9 out of 14 for the year. Bashnagel will hold at the 38-yard line, and now the official wants a temporary timeout. The Bears have got to try to get something on the scoreboard. They were shut out last week, and so far today they've come up empty-handed. Danny Neal in the center of the ball. Bashnagel will hold at the 38. There's a snap. The ball is down. It's a fake. Bashnagel running to the right side. No place to go. He's going to be thrown down at the 41-yard line. I don't think it was a fake. I think he must have fumbled the snap from center and couldn't put the ball down. Willie Lanier made the tackle on the play, and again the Bears come up empty-handed. Well, that's incredible.
It is incredible, and it faked me out. He got the ball down. I don't know what happened. I'm watching the replay, and I cannot see. He set the ball down. Thomas went to kick the ball, and whether the ball slipped under Bashnagel's grasp, we'll try to find out.
All right, the Chiefs have the ball first down at their own 40-yard line. Marshall wide to the left, Brunson wide to the near side to give to Podolak off left tackle, straight ahead up near the 45-yard line. Rideout's made the stop on the play. It'll be second down and a long 5.
Well, that's what happened. He set the ball down, but the ball slipped out from under his hand as he set the ball down, and he had to go with it. It was a good snap. Boy, what hasn't happened to the Bears today? I mean, you combine this game with the Houston game, and everything's happened to them.
The Hollywood script wouldn't buy this. Brunson wide to the near side. Marshall wide to the left. I formation is Bailey. Fakes, and a quick pitch now to Podolak coming to the near side. Gives ground, turns the corner to 45, and out of bounds as Reeves got a hand on him and kind of helped him with aid from Doug Plank, and they knocked Podolak out of bounds at about the 48-yard line. A gain of 3+. It'll be third down and 2.
Well, Bashnagel giveth and Bashnagel taketh away, huh?
Third down coming up, and a long 2, make it almost 3. Reeves rejoins his teammates on the field to call a defensive signal. Blocking to the end, Bailey out at running back. They've been alternating most of the afternoon. Brunson wide to the left, Marshall split wide to the near side. Now the Bears want a blitz. Back to pass now is Livingston being rushed by Plank. He throws, intercepted and dropped by Wayman Bryant at the Bear 43-yard line. There's one time where the blitz paid off because they forced Livingston to throw it quickly. Doug Plank on a safety blitz was almost on top of the quarterback when he let it go. It was underthrown, and Wayman Bryant almost had himself an interception. Fourth down, about 3 yards to go, and the Chiefs are forced to punt it away near midfield.
And it's wait till next year for the New England Patriots. They have lost to Miami 17-3, so New England 5-4 in that tough AFC. They are out of the playoff picture.
Wilson averaging 37.5 yards and 2 punts, set to kick it away against the wind. 3 men deep for the Bears, Schubert in the middle. There's the snap, and there's the kick as Rather got another good rush on it. Over to the far side and caught at the 28, fingertip grab, and coming up the middle is Bashnagel to the 50, the 45 to 40, the 35 and down to the 30-yard line. Bashnagel caught that one in full sail, and Ricky Davis finally knocked him down, and Brian Bashnagel is thrilling the crowd here this afternoon with a fine punt return and 2 great kickoff returns, and the Bears again have it in excellent field position at the Kansas City 31-yard line.
Bashnagel taketh away, and Bashnagel giveth again, huh? This guy's unbelievable out here.
That was a 42-yard return of a 25-yard punt. The Bears have it at the KC 31. Slot to the left, I formation. Abilene now with a call. And to give to Robin Earl. Right up the middle. He bangs his way to the 25-yard line. A pickup of about 6 yards on the play. It'll be second down and 4. Tim Gray, safety, made the tackle on the play.
Second and 4.
Well, the Bears have knocked at the door 3 different times and have come up empty 3 different times. Now they're down there knocking at the door again, thanks to Brian Bashnagel.
Rather in, Bashnagel out at wide receiver. And Bo lines up in the slot to the left side. I formation. Second down 4. And the give now to Walter Payton, who got cartwheeled and spun at the 22-yard line, trying to run off the block of Robin Earl. Cliff Frazier made the tackle on the play. And let's see where they mark the football. At the Kansas City 22-yard line, Bashnagel back in. And apparently Jack Pardee now is calling most of the plays from the sidelines. It's at the 22-yard line. It'll be third down and about a yard. And that, officially or no, puts Payton over the century mark again. We had differed a couple of yards at halftime. Slot to the left, the near left side. Deuce backfield. Third down and a yard. Avellini with a long count. They give to Payton on a sweep to the right side. He gets the block from Reeve Sorry. Spins back inside. Ripped by one man. Still on his feet. Struggles away at the 20. Still battling. Breaks away at the 15. The challenge. The 5 and down to the 4-yard
greatest runs I have ever seen Walter Payton make. The blocking broke down on the right side of the Bear line. He cut back. They had him dead to right to the far side. He cut back. He broke tackle after tackle and almost made it for a touchdown. Just sensational, as you called it, Joe.
First down and goal. Slot to the right, deuce backfield. Payton shining here today despite the fact the club trails 17-0. They give the big Robin Earl. He turns the corner and gets down to the 1-yard line. He was almost tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Gary Barbero came up along with Tim Gray to put him down, and the big rookie is 1 yard away. It'll be second down goal. Bashnagel in rather out, and the Bears seem to be all of a sudden fired up a little bit here.
Well, I wish they were fired up when they came out.
Jiminy, that run by Payton's got to fire up anybody. He has 116 yards and 17 carries, and let me tell you, that 17-yard run a moment ago, he made every inch on his own.
Oh, I'd love to see that one on the replay tonight.
Both ends are in tight. Bashnagel is a wing, split wide to the right. He'll be covered by Emmett Thomas. High formation. They give to Payton. He hurdles. Touchdown! He leaped clear over the line of scrimmage to the Bears and finally scored their first touchdown in 8 quarters of action. And it's 17-6 now as Payton hurdled the entire Kansas City line into the end zone. Oh, what a play. What a player.
The famous Peyton Hurdle. Actually, Sam Bam Cunningham made that play Southern California, and then for the New England Patriots, the Waller's good at it. He gets airborne. You know, he leapfrogged over Brad Eklund, the defensive line coach, one day in practice, and Eklund is 6'4".
Well, the Bears go 31 yards in 5 plays, set up by Bashnagel's 5 punt return and Peyton's sensational 17-yard run. There's a kick by Bobby Thomas. It's good, and we've got a 17-7 score here early in the third period with 9:37 left to go at Soldier Field in Chicago. 17-7 the score as Walter Payton and Brian Bashnagel have put the Bears back in a position to contend in this ball game, and Thomas has it teed up at his own 35. Brunson and Reed are the 2 deep men at the KC 10-yard line. 9:37 left to go in the third period. We got a long time left in this ball game. Walter Payton now with 117 yards.
How do you mean that, Joe?
Just what I said.
Just so it's not a nightmare.
Oh, you're right there.
It was shaping up into a nightmare, I'll tell you that. Longest half we ever spent was down in Houston last week. And 47-0, there's not much to talk about anymore, and that was the case in Houston. I thought that fourth quarter would never end.
Thomas moves forward and puts the ball in the air, end over end, coming down, and it's Reed at the 11-yard line. Behind the wedge to the 20, coming to the right side, 25, hit and drop to the 29-yard line, and the Bears seem to be a little bit more spirited now. Johnny Musso made the tackle on the play. An 18-yard kickoff return by Tony Reed, a rookie. One of several on this Kansas City ball club, and it's first down for the Chiefs at their own 29-yard line. Now let's see if the Bear defensive unit can get tough. They held the first time here in the second half.
Yeah, I think I detect some intensity out there on the football field on the Chicago Bears side.
All right, both ends are in tight. Wide to the left now. We'll double check it. Looks like Charlie Wade. And a give up the middle and a big opener out to the 39-yard line. Goes Brockington, a 10-yard pickup. Doug Plank made the tackle on the play, but it's going to be a 10-yard pickup. Charlie Wade just checked into the lineup as the Kansas City Chiefs went with a double tight end alignment and 1 flanker. Now Brockington is out. Mark Bailey is back in.
Little Charlie, 5'9", 160 pounds, third year in the NFL, but he's been a spot player in and out. Played for the Bears about 1973, I think.
Came up with the Dolphins and then came to Chicago. And Bailey runs it right up the slot on a handoff across the 40 to about the 43-yard line. Don Reeves, the middle linebacker, with help from Mike Hartenstein, making the tackle on the play. It'll be second down and 6. And Brockington comes right back in, bringing a play from Tom Bettis and his staff.
Little Charlie was here when Abe Gibbon was the coach, and actually had his best year with the Bears. That was about the only good year he had. 1974 was the year.
Caught a couple of long touchdown passes. The knock against Wade was the fact that he didn't catch the ball too often in the middle of the field.
Heard footsteps.
Marshall wide to the near side. Wade back to the left. Back to passes. Livingston being rushed by Osborne. He throws under heavy pressure, and it's caught and out of bounds to the near side by White at the Bear 42-yard line. Livingston a great job of scrambling as Osborne put the rush on. And Seavey was also pressuring him, and he finally got it away, and a great catch on the near sideline by big Walter White. Luckenstern was the man who was chasing him on the play. Now Bailey in and Brockington out. It's another first down for Kansas City at the Bear 42-yard line.
Well, the Bears had that play pretty well covered, and White just plain outran Muckensturm over there, and there was a great pass under pressure by Mike Livingston, who's having a very good game. Not only passing-wise, but just running this Kansas City offense, although the plays are coming in off the bench.
Wade wide to the left, Marshall wide to the near side, Deuce backfield of Bailey and Podolak. And again to Podolak, tries the middle, inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Hartenstein and Myers bring him down. It'll be second down coming up now, and about, we'll call it 7 yards to go.
Tony Dawson used to call his own game, didn't he?
I believe he did, although Hank Stram would alternate a lot of players in and out whenever he wanted a specific call. He had the stacked offense where he had the 3 men lining up the tight end and the eye and shifting, and of course we've seen that twice this year with New Orleans. All right, second down and 6 yards to go. The ball at the Bears 38. Marshall wide to the near side. Wade set wide to the left. Again, the inside hand off the Podolak. Ball knocked loose. Bears have it, I believe, at the 39-yard line. They have it. Billy Newsom fell on that loose ball. Somebody stuck a helmet in there, a headgear, knocked that ball out of Podolak's arms, and Jerry Myers and Billy Newsom dove for the loose football, and the Bears have it at their own 39-yard line.
They recall the Bears got Newsom from Buffalo after Buffalo had gotten him earlier this year from the Jets, and he's done a good job at right end for the Bears. 4 sacks, and here's a fumble recovery.
All right, time out of the field with a score, 17-7, Kansas City leading. Joe McConnell and Brad Palmer back at Soldier Field. The Bears have the ball now at their own 39-yard line, trailing 17-7. Billy Newsom did indeed recover that fumble a moment ago. Slot left, hand off to Payton on a sweep to the right side behind a couple of blocks. He tried to turn a corner on Sorey's block. Off balance, he stumbles out of bounds across the 40-yard line. Tim Gray running laterally, forced him wide along with a couple of defensive linemen and a linebacker for Kansas City as Payton just couldn't quite turn the corner. He got up to the 42-yard line on that last stumbling dive. A gain of 3, it's second down and 7.
That's right. Too many Chiefs, not enough Indians over there.
Bo Rather back in. Bashnagel out at wide receiver. The Bears will line up in a slot to the near left side. High formation. Earl and Payton have gone all the way at running back today, with the exception of a couple of plays by Johnny Musso. Long count by Avellini. And to give to big Robin Earl up the middle, and he carries a crowd with him all the way up to the 48 or 9-yard line. Oh, he just disappeared into a big pile, and it just kept moving upfield. They'll spot the ball at about the 49-yard line. They could have enough for the first down.
I think he's a tad short. Boy, he's a real Brahma bull out there, isn't he?
Howard and Frazier finally brought him down, and they're going to measure. The ball right at the 49-yard line.
It is very, very close, and we haven't got a good angle on this one. And
Earl now has 29 yards and 6 carries. Payton at 120 on 19 carries.
He's got it. He has got it.
When are you going to quit doubting me, Bradley? Bashnagel back in, Rather out at wide receiver. First down for the Bears at their own 49-yard line. They have all of a sudden begun to turn it on now, thanks to a long kickoff return, then an ensuing punt return by Brian Bashnagel, and a sensational run by Walter Payton. Slot to the near left side, Deuce backfield. Avellini with a call now. And the fake to Payton. On the left side, the pass dropped by Scott. They set up the screen. He picked up the ball on the bounce and then spiked it angrily on the AstroTurf. He had 3 blockers out in front of him. Albrecht, Bashnagel, and Big Noah Jackson. Buda was out there ready to block, and the ball was thrown just a bit in front of Jimmy Scott and maybe a little bit tough to handle, and he dropped it. Rather in, Bashnagel out at wide receiver. It'll be second down and 10. The Bears at their own 49-yard line. Avellini is 4 out of 12 for 66 yards. That's his first pass attempt in the second half. Livingston is 10 of 15 for 128. Slot to the near left side. High formation. Avellini just now to Walter Payton, and they stack him up. Big pile up, and Kansas City says they have the ball, and I believe they do. Walter Payton fumbles it right back to Kansas City at the 50-yard line. There was absolutely no place for Walter to go on that play, as they had jammed up Sorey and Lick, and there were 3 or 4 white jerseys there, and Whitney Paul came up with a loose ball, and Kansas City has it now at the 50-yard line. Tough break. Timeout is called with 7:02 left to go in the third period. The score is 17-7. Kansas City will be back in a moment. Joe McConnell and Brad Palmer back at Soldier Field in Chicago. Sellout crowd of 57,000 plus. Kansas City has just recovered a Walter Payton fumble at the 50-yard line. It's a 17-7 Kansas City lead.
What does Richard Todd mean to the New York Jets?
Everything.
Everything, because without him, they lost to Seattle at home, 17-0.
First shutout for Jack Patera's ball club. That's their third win. That sets a new team record for them in their second year. High formation, play action fake. Livingston sets up deep, being chased. Rolls to the right side, still on his feet, throws it downfield, and Plank has it knocked away. And I believe it was caught by Henry Marshall. Unbelievably, and Muckenstern, Reeves over there along with Fensick, and they're very upset. Now they're going to rule it incomplete.
How about that? The guy on top of the play called it complete, and two other officials rushed over and said it was incomplete.
Doug Plank drew a beat on the ball. He was going for the interception as Livingston was running away from the line, at least 15 men deep, and the Bears had 3 men on him. Henry Marshall juggled that ball trying to come back for it, and they finally ruled it an incompleted pass, and that's about the best pass rush we have seen out of the Bears this afternoon.
The Bears were screaming bloody murder, and fortunately 2 officials came over and overruled the guy who was on top of the play.
Charlie Wade wide to the left, Marshall wide to the near side. The backs are cheated up a bit on the right side, and Livingston drops back a pass on 2nd and 10. Flag thrown, ball over the middle, intercepted, a diving interception by Gary Fensick. His 3rd interception of the year at the Chicago Bear 40-yard line. A sensational diving shoestring catch by Gary Fensick, and I believe the penalty is going to be nullified. It would have been offensive holding, and the Bears have come up for their 3rd turnover. The second one here in the 3rd period, and they get it back at the Bear 40. Gary Fensick with a beautiful diving interception.
We've had 3 turnovers now in the last couple of minutes. Billy Newsom recovering a Kansas City fumble. Walter Payton fumbling the ball right back, and now Gary Fensick gets it back for the Bears. Good field position, Bear 40-yard line. 6:41 to go. 3rd quarter, 17-7 Kansas City.
Reichenagel wide to the right, Scott wide to the near side, Deuce backfield. First down for the Bears on their own 40-yard line. And to give now to Payton, cuts off left guard and tackle. Robin Earl, he carries a couple of tacklers with him up to the 45-yard line. Robin Earl off left guard and tackle for 5 yards. Gary Barbero finally wrestled him down with help from Willie Lanier. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
2nd and 5 for the Bears.
Robin Earl may be quite a factor in this ball club in the next couple of years. Boy, he's big. 6'5", 242 pounds. He came into camp at 255. One of the coaches thought he was a defensive lineman. He's averaging 5 yards a pop today on 35 yards and 7 carries. 2nd down, 5. Scott wide to the near side. Reichenagel wide to the right to give to Walter Payton. He cuts to the outside. Struggles up near the 50-yard line. He's close to the first down, right at the midfield stripe. He ran right by one would-be tackler. Willie Lanier finally put him down.
I think he's got it. Yes, he does.
Willie Andrews missed him as Walter veered to the right side through the line, and it's first down for the Bears at the 50-yard line. And for Payton now, that's 126 yards on the day in 21 carries.
Well, the Bears lost the first half 17-0. They lead the second half 7-0. So they trail 17-7.
5.5 minutes to go in the 3rd period. The Bears at the 50-yard line. Reichenagel and Scott line up in a slot to the near left side. Avellini looks over and says something now to Payton and Earl. They're lined up in the deuce. Play action fake. Swing pass on the left side to Scott. Scott flanked by one man as a blocker gets inside the 45 down to the 42. That same little hitch pattern on the near left flat with a couple of blockers up front. Noah Jackson was all the way down inside the Kansas City 30-yard line looking for someone to hit. John Lohmeyer made the tackle on the play. He started at defensive end in place of Wilbur Young today. And so Scott with his second catch advances at 7 yards. Make it 8. It's 2nd down and a long 2. The ball just shy of the KC 42-yard line.
Baltimore has beaten Buffalo 31-13, so Baltimore remains 1 game in front of Miami in the AFC East.
Rather back in, Reichenagel out. They line up in a slot to the near side. And to give now to Earl, who bangs off one man still on his feet, struggles, tries to run laterally, and is chopped down at the 40-yard line by Lohmeyer again. And he's going to be very close to first down yardage. And he kept going straight ahead. He would have had the first down, but he tried to come to the near side and ran laterally a couple of steps. And I believe they're going to ask for a measurement here.
No, they're about 6 inches short. That's because it's easy. The ball's right on the 40-yard line, and the yard's 6 little beyond.
Yeah, all right. 3rd down coming up now. Less than a yard. 3rd down and less than a yard. The ball at the KC 40-yard line. The Bears trying to drive and get back in here, trailing 17-7. Now getting late in quarter number 3. Scott wide to the near side. Reichenagel split wide to the right. Long count by Avellini. And Earl right ahead. Head Lord. Legs churning. He got the yard to the 39. Should be enough for the first down. As Robin Earl just projected himself at the battering ram and slammed in there. Straight ahead power. Lee and Frazier brought him down, but it's a first down for the Bears at the KC 39. Their fourth first down of the second half. Kansas City has been held to 2 so far here in the third period.
Final score, Washington 17, Philadelphia 14. So Washington 5-4 and alive in the wild card race in the NFC.
Scott wide to the left. Rather wide to the right. First down. The Bears at the Kansas City 39. Avellini sets up to throw. Stays in the pocket. Throws a long one intended for Scott down to their left side. And it's going to be intercepted, juggled, and picked off on a deflection by Barbero. He's out to the 15. Center steps and is hit, knocked down by Reeby Sorey at the 17-yard line.
What a play that was. The man who was going to intercept the ball was Tim Collier, and it was stripped away from him by Scott, and then it went to the man who wound up with the interception, Barbero, his second of the game, 7th of the year, and he's only a second-year man out of Nicholls State.
That's where Gerald Butler was from. Timeout call on the field here. Kansas City leading the game 17-7 with 3:22 left to go in the third. Joe McConnell along with Brad Palmer back at Soldier Field in Chicago. And again, the Bears have come up short on the deflected interception. Collier tipping the ball to his teammate, Gary Barbero. And Kansas City has the ball just across their own 17-yard line.
4 turnovers in the last 6 minutes.
Wide to the near side is Marshall. Split wide to the left is Charlie Wade. And the Bears are stunning. They want to come with it. They give the Brockington. Going to try to turn the corner and gets knocked out of bounds at the 19-yard line. Some great pursuit there. And Don Reeves and Doug Plank knocked him out after Hartenstein forced it wide.
I wasn't watching Avellini on the interception. He might have been under pressure, but it sure didn't look like he had any chance of completing that pass. Scott was well covered, and the ball was underthrown despite a 13-mile-an-hour wind at Avellini's back. Second time he's been intercepted today. And again, the 4th turnover in the last 6 minutes.
Second down 8. The Chiefs just across their own 19-yard line. They line up in a slot to the left side now. Podolak and Bailey are the running backs. They give to Mark Bailey, looking for running room, wants to come back. Newsom flips off him, but Wayman Bryant puts him down. He fumbled the ball, but it was after the play was over. It's back at the 12-yard line. He tried to reverse himself, and Wayman Bryant was there to seal off the outside and put him down after Newsom almost got him a second earlier.
Yeah, Newsom should have gotten him. There's no doubt about that. I have never seen a team miss so many tackles as the Bears have this year.
All right, Reeves comes limping out. The Bear linebacking corps has just been decimated with injuries. You've got Bryant in there playing on a very sore shoulder. After he almost picked off that pass early here in the third period, he came out noticeably hurting.
I'll put it this way. I can't recall having seen a team miss that many tackles. I probably have somewhere along the line.
At the 13-yard line, it'll be third down, 12 yards to go for the Kansas City Chiefs. Make it 3rd and 16. Livingston pressures, throws it away. The blitz was on, and Wayman Bryant smacked him on the play, and the Bears are screaming for a grounding call. There was nobody within 10 yards of that ball out on the left flat. Jerry Muckenstern and Wayman Bryant were both blitzing on the play along with Billy Newsom, and they almost forced Livingston to eat the ball back near his own goal line.
Well, the Bears should get good field position because Kansas City will be punting into that wind, and Gerald Wilson will be standing back on his own goal line.
He's only averaged 33.3 on 3 punts this afternoon. Schubert is back in single safety at the Kansas City 46-yard line. Wilson will kick it away from his own goal line. He's waiting for the snap about 4 yards deep. He gets it away. Not much of a rush as Rather pulled up. High punt. Schubert waits for a fair catch at the 45-yard line. In Kansas City territory, the Bears again get excellent field position with 2:16 to go in the third period. That's a 32-yard Gerald Wilson punt.
And he hung it so high that Schubert did the smart thing there by calling for the fair catch. He would have had no chance to run with the football.
Well, don't forget, tonight at 9:06, Ray Geraci will have a recap of all the action in this ball game, plus a look at all the games in the NFL today on the Game Day Recap Special. Tonight at 9:06 on WBBM. Slot to the left side. Deuce backfield. They give to Walter Payton. Up the middle, hit by Lanier, and he jarred away and still struggles for another yard or two to the 42-yard line. Cliff Frazier finally hauled him in with help from Whitney Paul after Lanier stopped him on the first initial try. They marked the ball at the 42-yard line. A gain of about 4 on the play. And Peyton now has 129 yards and 22 carries this afternoon.
Broke a 32-yarder in the first half, and his best run was about a 15-yarder here in the second half when he broke umpteen tackles.
Scott wide to the near side. Rather split wide to the right. And to give to the short man, and it's Robin Earl. And Earl inside the 40 down to about the 38-yard line. Lanier made the tackle on the play. Comes back, they go back in. The ball at the Kansas City 38-yard line.
Correction on that final score, Miami and New England. Miami won it 17-5. To 5? To 5. Maybe we'll get another correction. I don't know.
Slot to the near left side now. Deuce backfield on 3rd down and 3. The Bears at the Chiefs 38-yard line. And Avellini heads off to Payton. Payton cuts back in. He's got the first down. He struggles across the 35-yard line. Off balance, gets to the 32. Willie Lanier tripped him up. And the play was designed to go to the outside, but Payton saw the opening inside and cut sharply back behind his wall of blockers. Well, rather back in now for Baschnagel. First down for the Bears, just shy of the Kansas City 32-yard line.
It sounds like Miami might have taken that safety to get themselves out of a hole, not risk a touchdown. Because they were leading that game 17-3 when New England got the 2 points.
High formation, receivers split on either side, and Avellini back to pass. Quick square out, and Scott makes the catch out of bounds at the 23-yard line over on the far sidelines in Kansas City territory. Quick square out. 25 seconds left to go in the third period, and the Bears are a yard and a half, make it 2 yards shy of the first down on 2nd and 2.
Cleveland, after trailing 35-17 at Pittsburgh, wound up losing by only 4 points. Final 35-31 Pittsburgh. Both those teams now tied for first place in the AFC Central at 5-4, and Cincinnati can join them if they can beat Minnesota. That game just underway.
Scott has caught 3 for 30 this afternoon. Slot left with Baschnagel inside of Scott. High formation. 2nd down 2. And on a draw to Payton. Payton cuts back up in the middle. Now breaks to the outside. He's caught with the ankle, and down he goes at the 17-yard line. Just when it looked like he might jump out of there and go all the way. Tim Gray made the ankle tackle and made him save the touchdown for the Chiefs. But it's first down for the Bears just inside the KC 18.
Bears aren't going to get a playoff before the end of the quarter, so the Bears are going to have to win against them in the final quarter.
All right, the third period is history, and the Bears are back in it with a first down at the Kansas City 18 when the fourth quarter gets underway. The score here at Soldier Field, Kansas City 17, the Chicago Bears 7. Joe McConnell, along with Brad Palmer and the rest of our crew back here at Soldier Field, where we're set to start the fourth period of this ball game. The Bears trying very hard to battle back into this one after trailing 17-0 at the half. It's now 17-7, but more importantly, field position now. The Bears have a first down at the Kansas City 18-yard line as the fourth quarter gets set to unfold.
With Washington beating Philadelphia and Atlanta beating Detroit, those two teams are now 5-4 and one half game behind St. Louis. That NFC wild card race. When St. Louis plays at Dallas tomorrow night, the Cardinals haven't won down there since 1970, so all three teams could be 5-4 tomorrow night and tied for the wild card spot.
Rather in the slot to the left side, inside of James Scott. Deuce backfield, Payton on the left, Earl on the right. First down from the Kansas City Chief 18-yard line. And they give to Robin Earl, and Earl tries the left tackle slot and gets to about the 15-yard line. Thomas Howard made the tackle on the play. Help from John Romeyer. It'll be second down and 7 yards to go. The ball on the Kansas City Chief 15-yard line. Robin Earl has played airless football today. 45 yards and 11 carries. For the big rookie from Washington, he was a tight end and a fullback for the Huskies, their number 3 draft choice.
He and Payton have done all the running except for one play by Avellini.
Baschnagel wide to the near side. Scott standing wide to the left. Deuce backfield. Second down 7. Avellini to Payton on a sweep to the right side. He's got a blocker. He cuts back in at the 15 and gets down to the 11-yard line and rolled out of bounds. Reeve Sorey trying to block for him, but there was one too many Kansas City defenders over there. And Whitney Paul, the left end, played it wide very well and finally rolled Payton out of bounds with help from Cliff Frazier. And now it'll be third down. The ball is marked just inside the 12. So it's going to be third down and about almost 4 yards to go.
How about Payton on a little option pass here? What do you think?
I don't care how we do it as long as we do it.
I'm waiting all year for that play, for Payton to fake the sweep and lob one for a touchdown.
Wide to the near side now. Scott wide to the left is Rather on third down and a very long 3. And Avellini fakes the Payton, throws over the middle into a crowd. Knocked loose, incomplete, intended for Greg Latta, and he is hollering for interference against Gary Barbero.
Oh, Tim Gray threw that ball into a crowd.
Yes,
the receiver was surrounded by Kansas City Chiefs, and Tim Gray almost had the interception in the end zone. Almost, right off his fingertips.
Well, it's going to be fourth down, and the Bears are going to go for a field goal here, which, if converted, would move them to within a touchdown and an extra point of Kansas City. It's 17-7. Thomas has hit the crossbar from 39 yards away. This one, Baschnagel will hold at the 19. It'll be a 29-yard attempt. There's a snap. The ball is down. The kick is up, and it is no good. Wide to the right. Thomas misses a 29-yard chip shot, and the Bluebirds unload. Oh, boy.
You want me to say something?
Well, with 14:09 to go in the fourth period, Kansas City will get the ball back.
I think those boos sum it up. 14:09 to go, and the Bears blow another opportunity. They've blown a lot of opportunities today. Stopped at the 1-foot line early in the game. After falling behind 14-0, Thomas hit the crossbar on the same goalpost earlier from not that far out. 39 yards that one was. This one was 29 yards. How I missed it, I don't know.
Time out on the field. The score, 17-7, Kansas City. We'll return in a moment. 17-7, the score remains, and the Chiefs will have the ball at their own 20-yard line. Wide to the right goes Henry Marshall, and Brunson is back in, wide to the near left side. High formation of Brockington and Podolak. The Bears want to blitz again, and a handoff goes to Podolak, who's nailed at the line of scrimmage by Don Reeves. And Doug Plankin again now. The Bears blitzing and stunning a lot on defense, and it appears to be working here in the second half.
Make no mistake about it, the Bears are not quitting in this football game. The intensity has picked up noticeably in the second half. In fact, when the guns sounded ending the third quarter, and they switched ends, they got a near standing ovation from this crowd, even though they were trailing 17-7. The defense now trying to get the ball back to the offense.
All right, Tom Hicks has replaced Don Reeves at middle linebacker. Now Brunson out of the slot in motion to the right side. Deuce backfield, and Livingston sets up the pass. Has time, throws it over the middle, and it's caught at the 28-yard line by big Walter White on a crossover, a short crossover. Wayman Bryant shaken up on the play, made the tackle with help from Tom Hicks.
Yeah, and he's got that big bruised shoulder, and that hurts.
It hurts every time he makes contact. Brockington back in, Bailey out at running back. It'll be third down and 2 yards to go now for the Chiefs. And for Walter White, 5 catches for 78 yards this afternoon.
Tom Hicks has been seeing some duty also. He comes out, Reeves goes back in. Hicks is playing with a badly bruised shoulder.
Marshall wide to the near side. Brunson split wide to the right. High formation. Big play for the Bear defensive unit to give the Podolak. He didn't make it. He's knocked down at the 29-yard line. He's been held to about 8 yards here in the second half. He has 61 for the ball game. Billy Newsom made the tackle on the play. Doug Plank fired up coming out of there.
Minnesota has taken a 7-0 lead on Cincinnati in the first quarter. On the West Coast, Oakland leads Houston 3-0 first quarter. San Diego leads Denver 7-0 first quarter.
Fourth down, a yard to go, and the Bears have held again. And Schubert will drop back into single front safety. So the Bear defensive unit has done the job here in the second half. They looked horrendous in the first half. The second half, they have really toughened up. Wilson in the punt. He's averaged only 33 yards and 4 kicks, but this time he's got a wind at his back.
Actually, take away the first quarter, and the defense has done well.
There's a low snap, and Wilson gets it away. A spiral driving kick. Schubert at the 30, coming to the near side. He's got some running room at the 35 to 40, and gets up to the 45-yard line. Steve Schubert on a 15-yard punt return. He was tackled by Thomas Howard and Ray Burks. And the Bears again will have good field position, and they'll mark it at the Chicago Bear 46-yard line. A 41-yard punt, a 16-yard return. Timeout is called with 12:14 to go in the game. The score still reads Kansas City 17, the Chicago Bears 7. 17-7 the score. Kansas City leading, but the Bears again have the ball offensively at their own 45.5-yard line. Bashnagel is sent wide to the left, and Scott lines up wide to the near side. High formation with Earl and Payton. Big Robin Earl, the short man in the eye. And they give the one to Payton, and he tries the middle and is really hit and dumped at the 47-yard line.
Willie Lee from Bethune-Cookman. Boy, really nailed him at the line of scrimmage.
You know, the one thing the Chiefs have done very well here in the second half is key in on Walter Payton.
Yes, they have.
A gain of 1.5 yards. It'll be second down and the short 9 or a long 8.
With the Bears going out of the win, they'll be king all the more on Walter Payton. Walter Payton is about the biggest weapon the Bears have, naturally. But the Bears are going to have to go to the air with 11:40 to go in the game.
Rather wide to the left now, replacing Bashnagel. Scott wide to the near side. Deuce backfield. Second down and 8. And play action fake. Rolling to the right is Avellini. He throws it downfield, and it's caught by Scott inside the 40 at the 38-yard line. He's thrown out of bounds. There was maybe the best passing play of the day. Jim Collier made the tackle on the play. Scott was open on a hook of about 12 yards. And the ball is at the Kansas City 38-yard line. First down for the Bears.
That play won't look any better on the blackboard. 17-7. Kansas City leading after once leading 17-0. 11:27 to go. Bears knocking at the door almost for the fifth time in this game.
That was an 18-yard chunk, and Avellini has thrown for 100 yards today. They give to Payton. On a sweep to the right, cuts back into the 35. Still on his feet, down to the 30 to the 29-yard line. Goes Walter Payton coming to the near side on a sweep. Tim Gray knocked him down in the secondary with help from Willie Lanier. And the ball is just inside the 30. We'll call it the 30-yard line. It's going to be second down and 3.
Bears are in good shape if they can put some points on the scoreboard here. You know, Kansas City beat San Diego earlier this year, 21-16 with 2 touchdowns in the final 3 minutes, the result of 2 San Diego fumbles.
Slot to the left, Deuce backfield. And Avellini gives to big Robin Earl. Veers to the right side and comes straight ahead across the 25 down to the 24-yard line for the first down. Big Robin Earl finally knocked down by Willie Lee. And the Bears have a first down inside the Kansas City 25-yard line.
He punishes the defense, doesn't he?
Yes, he does, people. There's nothing flashy about the big blonde-headed rookie from Washington, but he is so big and so strong, he just keeps going in there.
I like the way he ran the ball that time. He sort of picked his way through that crowd. He didn't just try to bowl people over. He kind of found the crack there.
All right, wide to the left now goes Scott. Wide to the near side is Bashnagel. Deuce backfield, first down for the Bears, deep in Kansas City territory. Now in motion, back towards the line is Bashnagel. Back to pass, Avellini. Throws, and it's caught by Bashnagel, who struggles to about the 16-yard line. Is surrounded by 4 Kansas City players. They can't bring him down. They whistle it dead.
Inside the 20.
Gray and Emmett Thomas were there. And they're going to mark the ball at the 16-yard line. A gain of 8. It'll be second down and 2.
In Milwaukee, the Rams lead the Packers 17-6 in the third quarter. With Atlanta winning, the Rams have to win today to stay a game in front in the NFC West.
9:35 and counting. Slot to the left, high formation, second down 2. The Bears at the 16-yard line in Kansas City territory. And Robin Earl tries the middle and gets close to the first down across the 15, maybe down as far as the 14-yard line. We'll see where they unstack him.
He's got to get to the 14 and a half, and it looks like they're going to spot it at about the 15. Yeah, he's short.
Yeah, Whitney Paul and John Holmeyer struggle to bring him down, and they do mark it at the 15. It'll be third down and less than a yard, and Bashnagel again replaces Bo Rather. They're alternating at wide receiver on every play now. And the Bears have rushed for 200 yards, right on the nose today. Payton with 154 of them. Robin Earl has 52.
I think I'd like to see Avellini burn him this time with a bootleg, but I doubt if he will.
Slot left, high formation to give to Walter Payton. He's got the first down as he gets to the 12-yard line on a trap right up the middle off the left side of center Dan Piper with Noah Jackson throwing the key block. Cliff Frazier made the tackle on the play, but it's a first down for the Bears now. They're driving with 8:45 to go. They've got the score on this possession. Again, Bo Rather in, Bashnagel out. They alternate on every other play as Jack Pardee has gone back to calling the plays from the sidelines.
It would sure help if they scored in this possession, wouldn't it? 10-0 now. Oakland leads Houston first quarter.
Slot to the near right side, high formation. First down for the Bears at the KC 13. Quick pitch to Payton. Juggles it, gets it back, turns the corner to 15, down to the 10, gets to the 5-yard line. Oh, he almost lost the handle on that quick pitch to the near right side. Gary Barbero finally chopped him down with help from Willie Lanier, the middle linebacker. And for an instant there, we saw a lot of football in the air.
Well, the Bears have got to come up with 7 points here and make it a lot easier as time gets important. Easier to kick a field goal, of course, but Bob Thomas has already missed 2 down at this end. One from 29 yards, the other from 39.
7:50 to go. Slot to the left, high formation. Second down, 2 from the KC 5-yard line. High formation. Again, a pitch to Payton behind Robin Earl's block. He turns the corner. He gets down to the goal line. He's out of bounds inside the 1-yard line, trying to get to that pylon in the coffin corner on the near right side. He was 1 stride away from pay dirt, but it's first and goal, Bears. Reeve Soy and Robin Earl through the big blocks. First and goal inside the Kansas City 1-yard line.
I haven't heard you like this since Green Bay.
I haven't been this way since Green Bay.
I'll tell you this, it's not so cold when your team's moving the football.
First and goal from the 1-yard line. Rather, wide to the left. Scott wide to the near side. Deuce backfield. Here's the call now by Avellini. And they give to Payton. And he goes in for the touchdown. Right up the middle. Nobody laid a hand on him. Robin Earl cleaned out about 3 blockers, and Payton went right up the front for the touchdown. And the Bears are back in it with 7:37 to go. Payton's second touchdown. touchdown of the afternoon. It's 17-13, Kansas City lead. Well, for Walter Payton, that's 169 yards now. Thomas will try for the all-important extra point. The kick is up. It is good. It's a three-point ball game in Chicago. 17-14, the Bears have battled back with 7:37 to go. It's still anybody's ball game, and we'll be back to bring it to you right after this timeout.
Okay, okay, Oklahoma, tell us what you got.
We've got a great grand opening celebration at Oklahoma service stations and a grand opening promise to all Chicago Bear fans. We promise every time you buy 10 gallons or more of Oklahoma gas, we'll give you a beautiful crystal clear 12.5-ounce glass with an Oklahoma design on it free. We promise to give you one free every time you buy your 10 gallons or more, so you can complete your beautiful tumbler set. We promise to give you your gift tumbler at participating Oklahoma dealers while these glasses last. And we promise to honor your MasterCharge and Visa cards, so you can charge your gas and all your automotive service work at all Oklahoma service stations. So, Chicago Bear fans, what do you say?
Okay, okay, Oklahoma, you're okay.
17-14 the score. The Bears are right back in it with 7:37 left to play. They went 55 yards and 9 carries. For 9 plays, rather. Walter Payton with a final yard, his second touchdown of the afternoon.
169 yards for Payton, and his touchdowns on the ground have come in pairs, as we said earlier. That's the fourth time this year he's run for a couple of touchdowns, and he has 8 on the ground, 1 in the air this year for 9 touchdowns compared with 13 last year.
Brunson and Reed are deep, waiting Bob Thomas's kickoff, and he puts it in the air, and it's a knuckleballer bouncing down the middle, and it's taken by an up man on the wedge at the 29, to the 35, the 40, out to the 43. A knuckleball bounder by Bob Thomas. A 13-yard return, and we're still waiting to see who gets up. Mark Bailey was the man who returned the kickoff. Bashnagel made the tackle along with Muckensturm. It'll be first down for Kansas City at their own 44-yard line. I'm not sure why they went to that maneuver, but
I think because of the wind, but I'm surprised he knuckleballed it as short as he did.
Brunson comes wide to the near side. Marshall split wide to the right. Now the Bear defensive unit that's done the job in the second half has to do it one more time. They're changing up a little bit at the line. Back to pass is Livingston. Quick square out, caught by Brunson at the 49 of Bear territory. He tried to outmaneuver Livers, and Livers just crowded him out of bounds at the 46-yard line.
Yep, Livers didn't buy a fake that time, and good thing he didn't. He just contained him, and it worked. San Diego leads Denver 7-3 now first quarter, and Oakland in front of Houston 10-3 first quarter. 7:25 to go at Soldier Field. The Bears, after trailing 17-0, now trail it 17-14, and they have missed so many opportunities today. They've hit the crossbar. They've been snapping the 1-foot line.
The Chiefs got to 10 yards for the first down. They're at the Bear 46-yard line, I formation, to give the Podolak. Penalty flag thrown. He runs right up the slot near the 40-yard line. Gary Fensick made the tackle on the play, along with Ron Rideout, who is flat on his back on the after turf, and a flag was thrown as the play unfolded.
Well, Kansas City hasn't done a thing since Jan Stenerud put them ahead 17-0 late in the first half of play. Actually, Kansas City did most of their damage in the first quarter of play. They went 60 yards and 66 yards the first 2 times they had the football.
Offsides against the Bears, and that's the first penalty against the Bears in the second half, and gives Kansas City now first down and 5 at the Bear 41-yard line, so they've got to tighten up right now. 7:21 to go in the game. 17-14 score. KC leading. Marshall wide to the near side. Brunson standing wide to the right. Livingston to throw on first down and 5. Being chased. Dumps it out of screen to Podolak. He's to the 45, the 40, 35, 30, 25, and shoulder down at the 24-yard line. They worked the screen beautifully over on the right sidelines, and Wayman Bryant hit him standing up and shouldered him down at the Bear 24-yard line. Another first down for Kansas City.
When you've got a team first down, 5 yards to go, you've got that defense at your mercy, and that time nice play selection by Kansas City, working the screen.
Reeves out, Tommy Hicks in at middle linebacker. The ball at the Bear 24-yard line. This has been Kansas City's best offensive drive of the second half. They have been pretty much contained until the Bears finally got back into it with their second touchdown by Peyton a moment ago.
Raymond Bryant really looks like he's hurting. He's double over out there on the field.
Now, Brunson is wide to the near side. Marshall split wide to the right. Brunson comes in motion back towards the line. The Bears are blitzing. A handoff now to Podolak coming to the near left side. He's got a blocker, turns the corner at the 20, gets down to the 16-yard line. Virgil Livers with the stop. Fine block thrown there.
Safety blitz that time by Doug Plank, but all for naught.
Bob Simmons, the left guard from Texas, threw a key block, allowing Podolak to turn the corner, and the ball is at the 16 now. It'll be 2nd down and 2.
Well, just as the Bears get into this football game for the first time since the first quarter, Kansas City marches up from their own 44-yard line down to the Bear 16-yard line. Rather effortlessly.
We need a turnover now. 5:58 to go. Slot to the right. Deuce backfield. Livingston sets him. And they give to Podolak. Tries the middle. Has the first down as he's chopped down to the 13 as he ran it right up the middle. Right off. And also Newsom in on the stop. And it should be enough for the first down at the Bear 13 it is. 143 yards on the ground for Kansas City today. Podolak now with 79 yards for the ball game.
If Kansas City gets a field goal here, you think they'll put Walter Payton back there to take the kickoff along with Baschnagel? Why not?
Wide to the right is Brunson. Wide to the near side is Marshall. I formation. First down, KC. Handoff now to Podolak. And he's gone behind the line. Beautiful play by Muckensturm, who got him around the ankles and sacked him back at the 17. Jerry Muckensturm came in there low and caught Podolak around the shoe tops, and down he went. A loss of about 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 14.
Oh, that play helps. Big play by Muckensturm. Makes it 2nd and long now for Kansas City.
Dix and Reeves are alternating now at middle linebacker on almost every play. I wonder if Jack is sending in instructions to the defensive unit.
Could very well be.
Brunson wide to the left. Both ends are in tight now. Deuce backfield. And a play action fake. Bootlegging to the left is Livingston. He's going to be sacked at the 24-yard line. That one broke down. Raymond Bryant was there along with Jimmy Osborne. And there's the second quarterback sack of the afternoon for the Bear defense.
Osborne's been in on both of them.
Now Seavey comes in. The ball is back at the 24. That was a loss of 7 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 21 yards to go. And if they can get another loss here, they might just back them out of field goal range.
I'm not sure if that was a play-action pass or a busted play because it wasn't a very much of a fake.
All right, Reeves is out. Hicks is back in. 3rd down, 21 yards to go. Brunson wide to the right. Marshall wide to the near side now. The ball at the Bears' 24-yard line. The Bears are blitzing. Livingston back to pass. Throws in a hurry. Incomplete. Yep. Finsick knocked down. Now, wait a minute. They're going to have an interference call as Finsick knocked down Henry Marshall at the 10-yard line.
No question about it. Boy, the Bears put the pressure on. Plank came in and blitzed, and Finsick gave Marshall a shove at the 10-yard line. It's going to be pass interference. Bears first down, Kansas City.
Oh, that was a big, big break there because the Bears had blitzed and almost got to the quarterback. It was White, the man who was pushed aside at the 10-yard line. There was no chance for that pass to be completed. 1st and goal at the 10-yard line.
Well, if you're watching at home on TV, you got a good look of it on the replay. No question about it.
Brunson wide to the right. Both ends are in tight now. Deuce backfield. That's a shame. There's a handoff to Podolak. He tries the middle, is anchored at the 10 and pushed back. No gain on the play, and Doug Plank made the hit on the play. Plank has played a ferocious football game most of the afternoon here. Ron Reinelch also got a piece of him. It's 2nd down and goal from the 10. Here comes Bailey lumbering in. Brockington out.
Boy, that pass interference penalty was almost the epitome of the whole season for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, but on that play, Brad, you got to give the Bears credit. They were playing very hard and aggressive football. That's going to happen once in a while. The penalties when you're not playing hard, then those are the ones you can't excuse.
Well, I have trouble excusing that one.
Blitz is on again. Livingston, quick square out. Throws it away. Incomplete at the 3-yard line. Intending for Larry Bunsen. Again, the rush was on. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 10-yard line. Ron Reinelch put the pressure on. 3rd and goal from the 10-yard line. Here comes Brockington in, Bailey out, bringing in a play from the sidelines across the way. And Mike Spivey comes into the ball game now for the Bears as the 5th defensive back. It's 3rd and goal from the Chicago 10-yard line. 3.5 minutes to go in the game.
I think I'd settle for a field goal if they can hold him here.
Marshall wide to the near side, split wide to the right is Brunson, hand off to Podolak. Podolak going to sweep the right side. He's inside the 10 to the 5 and down to about the 3-yard line. It'll be fourth down, and that'll bring in Stenerud to the field goal unit. Well, the Bears have blocked only one kick this year. That was a punt on the very first ball game against Detroit. And a blocked field goal here would just be what the doctor ordered. They mark it at the 4-yard line. It's fourth and goal. And Stenerud will be in to try a 21-yarder.
Yeah, a little blocked field goal and a nice return for 7 points, right? Well, if he kicks the field goal, the Bears will be down by 6 points with 3:24 to go, and they, of course, then would need a touchdown.
Stenerud will try from a distance of 21 yards. Adams will hold. There's a snap. The ball is down. The kick is up. It is good, and Kansas City now leads it 20-14 on a 21-yard Stenerud field goal, coming with 3 minutes and 21 seconds left to go in the game. 54 yards and 9 plays, Brad.
And 3:21 to go in the game. Bears need a good run back now to get in the field position. They're working against the run. It's going to be interesting to see what the Bears do on this particular kickoff. Bashnagle's had a couple of good ones today, one of which was called back because of a penalty. And he opened the second half with a 55-yarder. Walter Payton has not been returning kickoffs this year, and I'm kind of wondering if he'll go out there. Let's see if he's out there. No, he's not. Bashnagel deep back in his own goal line. Walderscheid and Musso.
Well, the Bears need a good run back. They can still win it. It's 20-14, KC, as they've held the Chiefs to a field goal here in the second half. Bashnagel, of course, has had 2 fine kickoff returns and a great punt return today as well. And he has also been quite a wide receiver. He's caught 3 passes for 47 yards.
Wouldn't you like to see Payton back there, lateral to Payton, and see what he can do with it with a broken field on a kickoff?
Well, you got a one-track mind.
Well, Payton's been the offense today, let's face it.
Univac over here just mentioned it's getting awfully dark here now. It's clouding up, and there have been no lights here at Soldier Field.
Well, there aren't many lights when the lights are on either.
Well, I won't argue that. All right, Stenerud kicks it off. And it's Bashnagel at the 7-yard line behind the wedge, coming up the near side of the 20, the 25, runs into one of his own blockers. He was tripped up by Jimbo Elrod, the rookie linebacker from Oklahoma at the 31-yard line, and Bashnagel is shaken up on the play.
Looks like he ran into Tom Hicks.
Well, he collided with Hicks, and Elrod tripped him up at the same time, and the Bears will have it at the 31. That's a 24-yard return for Brian Bashnagel, who is shaken up on the play.
Bears 69 yards away from a tying touchdown, and if they get it, they can win the game by a point. There's 3:13 to go. Plenty of time.
Bashnagel's all right.
Plenty of time if the Bears can sustain something, and to do it, they can't afford any penalties, that's for sure. They're throwing into a 13-mile-an-hour wind, but they are not forced to pass with 3:13 to go. They can still mix up their play.
Rather wide to the near side. Scott standing wide to the left. Deuce backfield. Avellini with a call now from his own 31-yard line. And he sets up the pass. Pumps once now. Roots to the right. Being chased back to the left. And he throws the ball away. Incomplete. He just barely dumped it out there as he was hit. He had plenty of time initially, but everyone was covered up. And Willie Lee and Lohmeyer put the high-low on him just as he started that arm movement with the ball. So the Bears were lucky they didn't lose yardage there, or more importantly, the football itself. It'll be second down and 10. Bashnagel, after he was shaken up a moment ago, back in replacing Bo Rather.
That's right. That thing could have been a fumble almost. Very close. Minnesota leads Cincinnati 7-0 now in the second quarter. Oakland leads Houston 10-3 second quarter.
All right, Avellini is 8 out of 19 for 108 yards. He drops back to pass on second and 10. Being rushed. He eludes the rush. Throws over the middle. Batted back. Juggled. Intercepted, I believe. No, dropped at the 21-yard line.
Somebody from the Bears made a heads-up play as if ball almost was intercepted. And I believe it was Avellini who broke up the interception with his tackle.
Somebody batted that ball. I'm not sure who it was, and batted it like a volleyball right back from whence it came. And Avellini, I think, had to break up the play, and it'll be third down and 10 now.
I think that's exactly what happened. It looked just like a volleyball. And Avellini was there to break it up.
I think it was Lohmeyer that batted that ball back towards the line of scrimmage. It'll be third down and 10. Slot left, Deuce backfield. Big play for the Bears. Hand off to Payton on a sweep to the right side. He looks for running and turns it on across the 35. Stumbles, struggles, gets to the 39. He didn't quite make it. We got a penalty that may be a late hit on Kansas City, and if it is, the Bears would get a first down. Now let's wait and see what the call is going to be.
Yeah, I don't see a flag, but I see a lot of referees over there.
Right over on the near sidelines in front of the Bear bench. Personal foul, Kansas City, fourth down, Bears.
What a break. What a break. The Bears would have really been faced with a tough situation.
They would have had fourth and about 2.
I think, yeah. What do you do then? You got 2:54 to go, but they don't have to make the decision. They've got the first down.
And a 15-yard penalty moves the ball across the 50-yard line to the Kansas City 46. A late hit on the near sideline right into the Bear bench. That's only the second penalty on Kansas City all afternoon.
I think he said it was on Thomas Howard.
All right, Peyton now with 178 yards.
It is on Thomas Howard.
First down Bears at the KC 46. Wide to the left is Bashnagel. Scott standing wide to the near side. Deuce backfield. Avellini with a long count now. And he'll drop back to pass again. Sets up, throws. And Peyton goes to the ball. He's got it. 20-yard line out of bounds. 17. Avellini hits Peyton on the crossover. And the Bears now have the ball first down at the Kansas City 17-yard line. That's 27-yard completion.
Great catch by Walter Payton. The ball almost overthrown. He grabbed it on his fingertip. And
Peyton is hurt on the play as he ran right into that fence over there about 10 yards beyond the sidelines. Walter Payton is shaken up as he hit that retaining fence. More of a railing. And now we've got a big crowd over there. The Bears will have the ball at the 17-yard line. And there's a ton of people around Walter Payton. He is up and apparently all right. The Bears are going without Peyton again now to Robin Earl. Tries the middle and gets a couple. Maybe to the 15-yard line.
He ran right by a security man. I kind of wish the security man had helped slow him down, but who wants to step in front of an on-rushing football player?
Peyton comes back on the field. He was out for one play. Russo was in for one. Earl got about a yard. It's second down and a long 8 just shy of the Kansas City 15-yard line.
Well, you just can't stop over there on that asphalt once you hit.
2:19 to go in the ball game. The rest of the Bears' 77 season just might hinge on this drive. Slot to the near right side. Rather inside of James Scott. This backfield. They give the one to Peyton. Peyton cuts back at the 15. Reverses the pass. He's going to score. Peyton into the end zone. Holy mackerel. Great stumbling off balance run by Walter Payton, who cut back against the flow and staggered it off balance. And they're going for Circus Soldier Field. You'd think the Bears had won the title. They're leaving the bench. They're mounting Walter Payton. The Bears have tied this football game at 20-20 with 2:02 to go. And now Bob Thomas will go for the extra point.
Oh, we've had so many tough situations on extra points. I don't want to remind you about Minnesota, but it's tied, folks, and here we go with the possible tiebreaker.
69-yard touchdown drive. Peyton's third of the afternoon. Thomas will try for the go-ahead extra point. It's up and it is good. 2:02 to go. And the Bears are celebrating, but they can't afford to now. They've still got 2 minutes to play, but the Bears will battle back to take a lead at 21-20. And for Peyton, 195 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. What a great game for Walter Payton.
Just a tremendous run by Walter Payton and cutting back across the grain. He's had 3 sensational runs today. Actually, his 2 better runs were not his longest run. He had a 32-yarder, but this touchdown run and earlier run in the third quarter were his best runs when really he was on his own and the defense just couldn't bring him down.
Well, you talk about an athlete with heart. Walter Payton exemplifies the kind of a young man that everyone would strive to be. Not only is he a great physical talent, but he has a tremendous amount of courage. He tries 125% on every play of every ball game. And Payton, with some help from his teammates, has lifted this Bear Ball Club back into the lead now with 2:02 remaining. They went 69 yards in 6 plays, and Payton made the big catch for a 27-yard gain, was shaken up on the play, and 1 play later came back in and pulled off a 15-yard run for the touchdown, the go-ahead touchdown, where he was hit, cut back against the grain, off balance, staggered the last 5 yards into the end zone.
He has all 3 touchdowns today. The Bears lead it by a point with 2:02 to go. Well, the 2-minute warning right after this kickoff.
Brunson and Reed are deep. And Thomas moves forward to hit the ball. And he hits it. Squibber down the middle. Caught on a fly by Bailey at the 30. That's Brockington with the ball. No, it's Bailey, and he gets to the 43-yard line. The same man who returned it a moment ago. And Gary Campbell knocked him down. That time it was a line drive kick that Bailey caught and returned it to the KC 44. So they've got excellent field position. The Bears can't afford to let them get too close because they've got Stenerud, the old pro. And a 21-20 ball game here with 1:55 to go. The 2-minute warning is being sounded, and we'll be back with more Chicago Bears 77 in a moment. Joe McConnell and Brad Palmer back at Soldier Field. We've got a 21-20 cliffhanger here. The Bears trailing 17-0 at the half of battle back. Some superlative performances here this afternoon, but none brighter than Walter Payton. 195 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. He also caught a key pass in that final drive for 27 yards, and now the Bear defensive unit's got to stop Kansas City. Double wing to the right. Walter White, the tight end, is split wide to the near side. Deuce backfield. Livingston back to pass. Quick square out to White. He caught it, steps out of bounds at the 50-yard line. A 6-yard square out to the big tight end, Walter White. And it'll be second down coming up now, and about 4 yards to go, and Kansas City has it on the 50-yard line.
A lot of time left for Kansas City, and of course they've got the wind at their back for Jan Stenerud, who has already kicked a 37-yarder today. That's his longest of the season. Stenerud is now 4 for 7.
The Bears going with 5 defensive backs as Reeves is pulled out. They have 2 linebackers. Both ends are in tight. Wide to the right is Brunson. Livingston hands off the Podolak. Big chase. He's going to turn the corner, cuts back at the 50, still on his feet, struggles down to the 45 where he's got the first down. Wayman Bryant and Billy Newsom finally pinned him. Timeout Kansas City there at the Bear 45-yard line with a first down with 1:42 to go. Will be on first down. The give to Brockington, and he tries the middle at right guard and gets down to about the 40-yard line. It'll be second down coming up with about 5 yards to go. Doug Plank and Don Reeves made the tackle. The ball just inside the 40, closer to the 39. Kansas City. Have they called another timeout? No, the officials have called a timeout here. Oh, I don't know why in the world they're doing that with 1:25 to go. They restart the clock, and that gives Kansas City an extra 10 seconds or so. Now it's second down. And a short 5. The ball just across the Bear 40-yard line. Brunson wide to the near side. Marshall wide to the right. Back to pass is Livingston. He's got time. He throws down over the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Marshall. He made a dive at the 24-yard line. Make that White. Buckensturm was defending on the play, but it should have been completed had the ball been thrown up a bit. And the incompleted pass stops the clock with 1:09 to go. Livingston is 14 of 24 for 169 yards. He underthrew his receiver on that play, Brad.
Well, a few times he's thrown a bad pass. He's had a good day passing. The Bears have not put that much pressure on him. They do have 2 sacks. They've been blitzing off and on.
Seavey and Myers are in the front wall now, along with Newsom. It's going to be third down, 5 yards to go. The rush is on. Livingston throws. A great catch at the 31-yard line. A sensational catch by Ed Podolak, who was hit and knocked down by Muckensturm. And Kansas City has a first down at the Bears' 31-yard line. Rideouts really put the heat on up the middle, as the Bears did have a good pass rush that time.
So did Seavey, and I swear Seavey got held on the play, although he's not complaining. It looked to me like somebody, as he got through there, somebody reached out and held him back, but nothing was called.
Kansas City unofficially 1 timeout remaining now. And after the game, don't forget, I'll be running down all the highlights of this Bear comeback this afternoon. And Brad will be down in the Chicago Bear locker room. And then, of course, Virgil Carter and Ray Geraci back in the studios will answer all of your questions about this game.
And next week, the Bears will be right here at Soldier Field against Minnesota. And don't forget, they've changed the kickoff. They've moved it up to a 12 o'clock kickoff here in Chicago. And that means we'll be taking the air at 11 o'clock Chicago time. And again, a noon kickoff. That's because it's a TV game, and I guess it's going nationally.
Kansas City had called a timeout, and we're double-checking now to see if they have any remaining. I think they do have 1 left. They have the ball outside the Bears' 31-yard line. And I would say they're about 5 to 10 yards away from Stenerud's field goal kicking range, although he does have a prevailing wind. He has not kicked it that long this year. The Bears need a big defensive play right here now. 21-20, the Bears leading by 1. Kansas City up to the line. Marshall wide to the near side. Brunson's put wide to the right. This backfield. The Bears are blitzing, and they try to take advantage of it. They throw the pass complete over the middle to big Walter White at the 26-yard line. Ball knocked loose after the whistle sounds. He took a tremendous shoulder shot from Wayman Bryant after he was pinned and held up.
He took a late hit from Doug Plank, and I'm kind of surprised Plank didn't get a 15-yarder against him because they had stopped White's forward progress, was shoving him back. Plank, who had gone in a safety blitz, came back and really plowed into him. Bears were fortunate there.
The ball just inside the 25-yard line. Kansas City lines it up without a huddle. Deuce backfield. And Livingston back to pass. Has time. Throws. Incomplete. Tipped up. And knocked out. Incomplete. Brunson overran the ball on the deflection, or he would have had a touchdown. Oh, man. It was intended for Henry Marshall. The ball was tipped high in the air by one of the Bear defenders. Brunson was down there, but the ball was behind him. 35 seconds left to go in the game.
Oh, the bounce of a ball. Muckenstern made the initial deflection, and then it was tipped again by Livers, and Brunson, as you say, just barely overran it, or Kansas City would have had a touchdown.
Hicks in, Reeves out at middle linebacker. It'll be 3rd down and 4 at the Bear 24-yard line. Slot to the right. This is a big play. The Bears can ill afford to give up any more yards. And they give to Brockington. He breaks a tackle. He's to the 20, to the 15-yard line, to the 13-yard line, a first down. Brockington broken arm tackle right at the line of scrimmage. Billy Newsom finally got him down. But now Kansas City right in the middle of the field at the 14-yard line. 29 seconds to go. And Stenerud will have the outcome of this game right squarely on his foot. They have called their final timeout. Now, are they going to throw the ball and attempt to stop the clock? Wouldn't it be something if they couldn't line up again? Oh, we're looking for anything right now.
Are they out of timeout? Can we determine that?
Yes, that is their 3rd and final timeout.
All right.
And they have the ball at the Bear 14-yard line.
So right now it would be a 31-yard field goal. I got to think, oh boy, what do you do? Either work wide. I think they will throw the football. But they aren't going to take any chances with it.
I would think they'd go to a quick square out, so if they fail to complete the pass, they can throw it away.
31 yards isn't automatic, and
we know that well today.
That's right. Anything closer than that would be. I think they'll try to get them a little bit closer.
Oh, what a heartbreaking defeat for the Bears today if they lose this one after the great second-half comeback, but they have only themselves to blame, really.
They can't run the football. Even if they want to use up some of this clock, 29 seconds, they've got to go to the air here, I would think.
Brunson wide to the right, wide to the near side is Marshall, and the Bears jump offside. I believe the handoff to Podolak. He tries to sweep the right side. He's to the 10, the 5. He's going to score. Touchdown, Eddie Podolak, as he swept it all the way. The Bears were offside, and we're waiting now for a signal. Touchdown, Kansas City. Well, on a busted play, that's the one thing that could happen, and Podolak turned the corner. They weren't about to slow down a bit. The blitz knocked one of the Bear linebackers offside, and I believe it was Osborne who was pushed across the line of scrimmage, and Podolak has swept it in from 14 yards out for the touchdown with 24 seconds to go.
Well, it's going to take a long run back now, that's for sure.
55 yards in 9 plays. Stenerud will attempt the extra point. There's the snap. The ball is up, and it is good, and it's a 27-21 Kansas City lead. And we have 24 seconds left to go.
Well, let's see what the Bears do on this particular kickoff. They've had pretty good success. You know, Stenerud, when he kicks long, has had a lot of kicks returned against him. That's one reason the Bears don't try to kick deep, because they learned from Stenerud that if you don't get the ball all the way out of the end zone, you're inviting a long return. Now, this time, I can't think, even with the wind at the back, I don't think Kansas City's going to try to kick it that deep. I think he's going to try to squib one down there on the 20-yard line and prevent that long return, don't you?
Yeah, I would think so. Let's pause right now for station identification. 27-21 Kansas City as they score with 24 seconds to go. Podolak's 14-yard sweep around the right side gives Eddie an even 100 yards for the day. And they're helping Jim Nicholson off the field. He apparently was injured on that extra point attempt. And it looks like it might be a knee, the way they're carrying the big offensive tackle off the field.
Well,
Now the Bears are right down to the last 24 seconds.
The Bears fought their way back from a 17-0 deficit, grabbed the lead, but you can't say they deserve to win this football game.
You don't very often defeat a football team with one half of football. That's what the Bears were attempting to do here. No denying they played an excellent ball game here in the second half.
Yeah, but when they had to stop Kansas City, they couldn't. Kansas City, in fact, has scored the last 2 times they've had the football.
All right, Stenerud hits it to the left side, bouncing, let it go. And it goes out of bounds. Musso was over there at about the 15-yard line, and so they'll tee it up at the KC 30-yard line.
That's right. The clock did not start. It will not start until somebody touches the ball on the field of play. And, of course, that would mean he's not going to kick it to the end zone, but even if he did, the clock wouldn't start until the Bear running back got to the goal line and onto the field of play. That's in the last 2 minutes. But they do it that way.
5-yard walk-off against Kansas City. Now they'll be kicking it from the 30, and according to Univac, they've been penalized only 27 yards today. Our spotter has been Pat Benkowski, statistician Dave Milberg, our technician here in the studio, Barry McIntyre, our studio producer Bob Dieterich. Rich King's back at the studio today. He's our executive producer, and the Turk, Dave Ennett, has been our on-game, on-site location producer this afternoon.
Say, Houston has gone ahead of Oakland 13-10 second quarter, and San Francisco and the Saints are in overtime, tied at 7-7. Rams lead the Packers 24-6 fourth quarter. San Diego leads Denver 14-3 in the second quarter.
Payton is back now. Here's the squibber coming down the near side, and it's through Robin Earl's legs, picked up by Walter Payton. He's to the 30. There's a Bashnagel. It's Brian Bashnagel across the 40 to the 43-yard line. The Bears call a timeout with 19 seconds left. Brian Bashnagel returning that punt after it rolled right through Robin Earl's legs. And the Bears have it at their own 43-yard line with 19 seconds to go. A field goal does us no good at all. 27-21 Kansas City.
Anybody out there believe in miracles?
The Bears have all 3 timeouts remaining, but boy, they don't have much time to use them. Well, wide to the near side is Bashnagel. Scott wide to the left. Back to pass is Avellini. Not much of a rush. Over the middle now to Robin Earl. Earl running to the left side, laterally across the 50, the 45, the 40, and out of bounds. Inside the 40-yard line and about the 37-yard line, 38-yard line. And there's 10 seconds left to go. Robin Earl taking that crossover pattern. Little A and B circle out of the backfield, and finally hot-footed it out of bounds over the far sidelines. A 19-yard pass completion to Robin Earl. And the Bears have the ball now at least within striking distance at the Kansas City 37-yard line, but they have only 10 seconds left. Bashnagel comes out. Bo Rather comes in with a play. Well, Bradley, we've had a lot of everything today. We've had a lot of ineptness for the Bears in the first half. They came back, played very well in the second half. But as you mentioned, couldn't hold Kansas City when they had to late in the ball game. But a great second half comeback with this ball club, who played very, very flat and uninspired in the first half.
Yeah, they did play with intensity in the second half. In fact, even though they were trailing in the second half, the crowd got behind them. It's not so much of your team's behind. You want to see your team put out 100%. And sometimes the Bears don't appear to be putting out 100%. And I don't think they quit today. There's no doubt about that. In the second half, they played pretty inspired football.
Well, they're down to the final 10 seconds of the ball game now, and a lot of the 57,000-plus overflow here have more or less frozen in their seats. See how this one's going to turn out.
San Francisco, after losing its first 5, has won its last 4. They beat the Saints 10-7 in overtime down at the Superdome. 10 seconds to go. The Bears have time for maybe 2 more plays. I would say 2 more plays. We're going to throw it down there for a jump ball, don't you?
Just about. The problem is, if they complete the pass and they try to get a lot of yardage with it, they can run out the clock before they can get it stopped for the second play.
That's right.
All right. Rather and Scott wide to the near side. Deuce backfield. Avellini back to throw on the first count. Sets up deep. Now throws it long down the left side. Open. He's Lana. He's down. Good down. Good down. Lana wide open. Makes the catch. Incredible. 3 seconds to go. 37-yard touchdown pass. Avellini to Lana, who was so wide open. I was only worried about him dropping the ball.
I was worried about him running under it. Avellini threw that ball for all he was worth. it's only tied. We've got an extra point coming up.
Don't do that. Come on, Bobby. Eichstengel will hold. 3 seconds to go in the game. There's the snap, and the kick is up. It is good! 57 yards in 2 plays, and Thomas puts the Bears back on top of this topsy-turvy football game. 28-27.
Oh, I'm happy for Jack Pardee. I'll tell you, if the Bears had lost today, you could open the trapdoor in the whole rest of the season. As Joe said, they might not have won another game, even with Tampa Bay on the schedule. I mean, the trapdoor really could have gone open, and they could have gone down the chute. But they wouldn't quit. And if you believe in miracles, or even if you didn't, you got to now.
Well, I told Univac early in the 4th period the Bears were going to win this ball game when they were down 17-7, but I certainly wouldn't have predicted this.
I wouldn't either, but in my own mind, I didn't count them out. I remember what happened to Kansas City against the San Diego Chargers.
Now we've got Noah Jackson injured on that extra point attempt.
Oh, yeah, and he's hurting.
Yeah, well, Nicholson was injured a moment ago on the Kansas City extra point attempt, and Jackson is yet to get up.
How about all those people who left? About half the crowd has gone home. They're out in the parking lot. We got some excited fans out here, the people who stayed.
Noah turned his ankle, apparently. His right ankle, he is up, and he is hurting.
A lot of people out here with radios as well, and they were rewarded for staying and braving out the cold. What a second half for the Chicago Bears.
Here comes Noah limping over to the sidelines trying to walk it off, but I'll tell you one thing, he may be hurting right now, but it'd be hurting a whole lot worse if they were down by 1.
The Bears lost the first half 17-0. They lead the second half 28-10.
Well, an amazing football game. Absolutely incredible. Cavallini, 11 of 23 for 193 yards, and Latta will never make a more exciting catch in his entire life than he did then.
I still can't say the Bears deserve this football game, but maybe they had one coming.
Peyton with 195 yards and 3 touchdowns, and a big 27-yard grab.
They didn't deserve to lose at Minnesota. They didn't deserve to win today, but they hung in there, and that's what counts.
Eichstengel, 2 great kickoff returns and a fine punt return, setting up a touchdown. You keep mentioning the fact they don't deserve it, and you're probably right, but we did have some great performances here this afternoon.
Indeed.
Bob Thomas will undoubtedly squib this one. With 3 seconds to go, the Bears leading 28-27 in the wildest football game of the year.
How many plays was that?
2 plays. A pass to Earl for 19 and a 37-yard touchdown pass to Greg Latta. There's a little knuckleballer down the right side. Fumble, kick loose, big pile up. The Kansas City Chiefs still don't have it. I think the Bears recovered. At any rate, the game is over. The Bears recovered the kickoff after it was fumbled by about 3 Kansas City Chiefs. The Bears have hung on and battled back to win this ball game 28-27 in the wildest football game you can ever imagine. Johnny Musso came up with a game-ending fumble recovery. The Bears win it 28-27. They are still alive by a fingernail in the NFC Central Division title chase. And with the Detroit loss in Atlanta today, they're tied for second place, while the Vikings are playing the Cincinnati Bengals in the Met today. And a Cincinnati victory could give the Bears a shot at first place here next week against the Minnesota Vikings right here at Soldier Field.
What a difference a play makes.
Oh, we'll be back in just a moment to summarize today's ball game. More Chicago 77 after this.